Monday, another Hallows Eve. Give yourself a round of applause. How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? Thank you guys so much for being here today. All guys tomorrow, Halloween tomorrow. Fucking Halloween. What's up, RT? What's going on, EO? Tay, how you doing? What's going on, Quan? What's up, Nadian? And my camera's not on. Hold on one second. Thought the camera's on. What's going on, Yo Master? How you been? Well, let's see if that does the trick. Yeah, there we are. How are you now? Pushing through the Masters? Hell yeah, let's go. Let's get that education. Let's set the fucking tone, boys. What's up, Nobe? We are gearing up for Halloween, finishing Vampire The Masquerade, Shadows of New York, of course. And ready for tomorrow. By the way, schedule is out everywhere. Should be everywhere. Twitter, Twitch, Discord events. What's up, Varshio? I'm gonna get on today. Do my things. But yeah, after we finish Shadows of New York, we'll talk for a bit because there's a few things going on. We don't have the same banners. Well, is it a free banner? It's a free banner, isn't it? If I remember, that's a free banner. But yeah, like I said, the schedule is out for the week. Let me do the little trailer view. Yep. Like I said, today we're finishing Vampire Shadows of New York. Tomorrow's Sly Jennifer. She comes back for her yearly visit. Gotta take a break at 8 for Unreal. Thanks, time. So I gotta do my telling and retelling of Unreal. Hopefully that goes quick. And we'll talk about tomorrow after we finish Shadows of New York. Wednesday, I'm taking the day off to fucking stay sane. Because I know the Halloween stream usually goes late. So I'm taking that day off for me. Thursday, Trails and Tales. Friday, Stay the Realm, and I'll be able to stream. So like it's gonna be different from like how we usually do it. I will be streaming, and then me and Happy will do stream together, which is the new feature from Twitch, which basically means I can stream while doing Stay the Realm. It'll just be full face cam, and we'll just combine our chats and yada yada yada. Other than that, chill Friday night. Saturday, SMT Saturday, of course, and first Saturday. Many thanks. Gotta put that, I gotta put that into the FFXIV venues Discord. Then Sunday, raid. Or we hopefully clear P10. So yeah. Pretty straightforward schedule. Of course, next week will be a shorter week because I will be in Texas for my yearly visit to Galveston for Onicon. So the schedule pretty much next week will be a Monday through Wednesday schedule. And then I'll leave Thursday morning. No Fall Guys Tuesday? I might do it off stream. Yeah. Pretty straightforward schedule. So I say we get on with the and get right into some Vampire. So we're continuing from where we left off. Our good friend Julia, who I love. I like Julia as a character is so good, even though it's me. It's me. I'm Julia. So the Camarilla, basically, the New York Camarilla has basically sent me on I wouldn't call it a wild goose chase, but it kind of seems like it because we're kind of finding something, but not what we've been asked. And the Camarilla basically has put us out the pasture by forcing us to do this investigation. We kind of got led into it by Kadir, which the last person I thought would lead us into this shit. I guess Kadir didn't have any, like he was kind of like, he's kind of strung out to put Julia out and say, yeah, she can do it. So we've been following leads on the murder of Boss Callahan. And that's what we're investigating, the murder of Boss Callahan of the Anarchs. So, continuing. Oh, you're up early. Yeah, I told you. Got work to do. I stretch. That's admirable. Reminds me of that one quote you always used to throw around. A lot of people say you can't smoke dope and get drunk when you got kids, and that's not true. You can, but you still got to get up in the morning. That's being responsible. Dakota's a fucking straight shooter. I fucking love Dakota. I want to take that. A lot of people say you can't smoke dope and get drunk when you got kids. Hold on, let me move my camera. Oh man, that's too good. Oh boy. Good start. Good start to the stream. That's the one. Never understood why it was so hilarious to you. Neither did I. I just accepted the mystery and made it my personal credo. I'm a responsible person. Are you planning to have kids? Not in a million years. By the way, you got mail. An envelope by the door. It's from Kadir. Inside is a message saying he won't be able to make it tonight, but we'll rendezvous tomorrow to meet D'Angelo. He wants me to lay low until then, and to stay in this apartment, if possible. Apparently nobody knows where Tamika is. They only know she's in trouble. He doesn't want me near it. Well, what is it? Got the next lead to investigate. That's what I'm thinking. Looks like I need to hit the town. Next lead. Probably useless, but the investigation continues. It would be fun to spend some more time together, you know. Dakota, you know this is important to me. I know. I'd like to know I'm important to you as well. That makes two of us. Just a few more days. I'll find the killer, kick his ass, get a promotion, and we'll do something we've never done before. Like what? Good question. I'll think of something. Now, catch up with your work. I need to get going. Fine. Good luck. Stay safe. You know it. This place is weirdly empty tonight. Oh well. I have the usual. I feel there's a big what are we doing in this relationship talk coming if I don't change my ways. Also, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't already happened. Most of the time, Dakota has seemed happy enough just listening to the stories of my own life. Even if it's all boring and normal to me, it's exotic and engrossing to her. Guess I have that going for me. Oh well. I have no idea what to do tonight, so I'll just do the obvious thing and wing it. These vagabond shoes are long and astray, right through the very heart of it, or however it went. Time to lose myself in these busy streets and pray that the answers I'm looking for are out there. If they're not, maybe I'll at least find some amusement or blood instead. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Need to resolve this thing with Dakota, as if going around in circles on behalf of the court wasn't stressful enough. Maybe a visit some quiet neighborhood will help clear my head. There it is, that distinct vibe of Manhattan's residential area. And an unmistakable scent of casserole enveloping the surroundings in a heavenly aura. What's up, Aragon? How you doing? The atmosphere of desolation makes it feel more like purgatory, though. There's not a single soul in sight. And crap. Looks like I'm not alone, after all. Some guy exerts himself climbing a nearby tree. I instinctively take a step into the shadows to remain outside his line of sight. I can barely see anything from where I stand. Better to curb my voyeuristic impulses and keep my head down. For a good while, all I can hear is heavy panting. Come on, dude. This oak isn't even that tall. Sure looks like it's the first time the guy ever had tried climbing a tree. Takes a long time for the mysterious trespasser to steady his breath and carry on. At this distance, I can barely discern his figures. He sizes up one of the longer branches. Seems sturdy enough, nearly reaches a narrow window on the second floor. Still, the guy's hesitant. Hi, Cassandra. Thank you so much for the raid. How you doing? Welcome on in. All right. And then positive vibes my way. Well, thank you for the good vibes. Really appreciate it. How's your day going? What were you up to today? All right, no biggie. Just eyes on the prize. He moves a few steps along the branch, his feet slipping every other step on his way to the window. By some inexplicable fluke, he manages to keep his balance. Once he makes it far enough, the branch slowly bends under his weight. He kneels down, probably calculating his chances to make it over to the windowsill. Getting ready to fall a lot with the guys tomorrow. Everybody is. Everybody's hype for Fall Guys. I'm like, I'll do it. But I'm not like overly hyped for it. I never really caught the Fall Guys bug when it came out. So, my guy, if you pull this off, it'll be a legit miracle. I can't help but cheer him on. The trespasser scouts his surroundings one last time, making sure no one can see him. Then he reaches into his pocket, pulls out what looks like a marble, and zeroes in on the window. Okay, here we go. Tosses the marble with the grace of a baseball pitcher. The clink of the glass is subtle, but it proves effective enough to alert whoever lives inside. A few seconds later, the window opens with the creak of a wooden frame, followed by the muffled but undeniably happy voice of the girl inside. Prince? How did you? I told you this is too dangerous, my dad. Oh, fuck him. We can't let him make this choice for us. You know how I feel about you, don't you? I do, but just let me in, baby. Promise we'll figure something out. Oh, all right. Just come in quickly. Just like that, Prince throws away all of his doubt and eagerly jumps inside, straight into the arms of his forbidden lover. It actually makes me smile. A peeping eye scores another victory. What a story. Heartwarming. Nostalgic. Just too bad it's too cliche to steal from my writing. What, Julia? You don't write anymore. Yeah, but it's not like you could simply stop thinking like a writer. I use that energy elsewhere somehow. But for now, let's just start heading downtown. All of a sudden, the world ends. Everything stops. I'm lost in the darkness, and there's not even a heartbeat to guide me. It's like sleep paralysis, except it feels as if I suddenly woke up from reality instead of a dream. Instinctively, I react to it the same way I used to react whenever I woke up in the middle of the night. Aware, but not able to move or speak. Just wait for it to pass. Instead of slowly regaining control, I see a bizarre room emerge from the darkness. Just look at her. Flesh refusing its fate. It is. It's not the one you were looking for, is it? He was led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep is silent before the shears, did not open his mouth. There is none more righteous, not even one. There is none who understands. There is none who seeks for God. All have turned aside together. They have become useless. If anyone curses his father or mother, he must be put to death. Raging waves of the sea, foaming up their own shame. Wandering stars for whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. We wrestle not against flesh, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. Whenever I've become one with the darkness, there's always this nagging fear that it might be impossible to become the normal me again. Instead of the shadows returning to normal, I will let my consciousness be dragged somewhere else, somewhere between the worlds. Somewhere like this, wherever this is. This is the first time that fear has come true. Are you afraid? It's a bad idea to answer. Don't do it. Yes. Excellent. 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 I think I need to sit in this chair. I think I need to sit in this chair. I guess we're sitting in the chair. I sit in the chair. Still in the lean years and unworthy of joining the rest. However, the path is open. It is a path of obligation, liability, a debt that will be repaid one day. And when she asks you what brought you here, let your response be a scent of death. Suddenly I feel my mind beginning to drift away from here. I'm slowly starting to regain control over my thoughts. No, you aren't. Yes, I am. Fine, think whatever you want. I find myself in a dark corner leaning against a wet, cold brick wall. I think I'm conscious again, back from wherever it was, awake, and in an unfamiliar place. Well, let's just hope it's still in New York City. I emerge from the shadows to see where I am. The source of light above my head momentarily blinds me, causing me to instinctively raise my hand. As I do, I hit some sort of garbage bag with my hand, falls to the floor, letting loose a metallic din. What the fuck? A woman. I feel her hand grabbing my clothes. She brutally drags me closer. When my hand's already above my head, I raise the other. Easy peasy, I mean you no harm. How long have you been here? I don't know, I've got no idea what I'm doing. Here or in general, really. It's like sometimes the forces I control figure out how to control me. What are you, a junkie? No, you're kindred. Yeah. Keep your shit together, damn it. Julia Sawinski, representative of the La Sombra in New York City. Camarilla? I'm a Camarilla investigator. If you came here to catch me, you're going to be sorry you tried, Miss La Sombra. No, stop right here. I wasn't ordered to catch anybody. I'm just investigating Douglas Callahan's death. This surprises her. She loosens her grip slightly. Callahan's dead? Nothing left but a rotten carcass and a musty robe. Well, I'll be damned. You'll have to grip for too long. What brought you here? A memory from a different world pops up in my head. Yeah, I think I know the right answer. The scent of death. She lets me go. Rub my eyes and finally get a good look at her face. Tamika. She's gorgeous. And judging by her nomadic clothes and the particularly fierce aura, she's probably an outlander. Clan Gangrel. Called outlanders. Made up of those who have fallen from the cracks of society. They call the cruelest neighborhoods home. They consider this a point of pride. They hold few demands and don't follow no prince. This clan embraces from the ranks of those who've already spilled blood and had their blood spilled, survived the harshest conditions, who fought against horrible odds and still came out on top. Prison gang leaders, vagrants, any other kind who has seen the darkest sides of this world. Occasionally, I'm told you'll see one who breaks this mold and pursues knowledge or influence instead. Among the gangrel, respect is everything. It is always earned, never given. only referred to as wolves, ferals, and outcasts. Or if you want to piss them off, animals, strays, or savages. We're not going to piss them off. I learned my lesson last time in potteries. I had a chance to, get with Tamika, but I fucked it up the very first time I met her. Like, it was something. Like, I said something that seemed, I guess, seedy, and she didn't like it. We'll have a talk, you and I. Sure. What's your name? Tamika. Pass me a smoke, will you? If only I could, my heart would skip a beat right now. Tamika. I guess once again, someone out there led me to the proper path. Yeah, sure. I pass her a cigarette. I realize I'm standing in something wet. Something that smells tasty. I look at my feet and see a puddle of water mixed with blood. Oh, I get it. Were these guys First Light? High-powered guns and expensive-looking outfits. Flashbangs, tasers, all chosen specifically to combat the undead. I recognize that equipment from some horror stories I've heard. First Light, SI, Usocom, whatever they call themselves, they don't bleed out the same. Usually before I have the chance to ask them a single question. Government-funded inquisitors. Some claim they're connected to the U.S. government. Some claim they're supported by the anti-kindred faction in the Holy See. Some have even wilder theories. You did this all by yourself? Have you seriously seen nothing? Nothing at all? Shake my head. Believe it or not, I have no idea how I got here. Just kind of let the shadows guide me. Is that a La Sombra thing? Never actually talked to any of you. No idea what you guys can actually do. Still learning the ropes myself, go with the flow and all that. My embrace was just a few months ago. Huh. So you folks are with the Ivory Tower now. Last I checked, you were with the Sabbat. The Camis wouldn't forgive all the trouble you caused them overnight. An extremist sect that fully enjoys their predatory tendencies and doesn't think highly of mortals. Largely believed to be embroiled in bringing about an eschatological vampire and vampires conflict known as the Gehenna War. They were driven away from the West over the last few decades. I heard that New York City used to be Sabbat controlled until 1999. Well, Sombra, my clan, used to be the thinkers behind these wackos, but we've since thrown our lot in with the Camarilla. Again, I'm practically still a neonate. I know what a neonate means. I just know there's a lot of bad blood between my clan and the others, and I can expect at least one glare of pure contempt whenever I visit Elysium. Huh, I see. We smoke in silence for a short while. You alone? So you acting alone? Is this personal curiosity or an investigator's curiosity or lacking intel for Camarilla? Doesn't matter. I have nothing to hide. Yeah, I'm alone. Every kindred on the East Coast benefits from these guys' deaths, but nobody wants to get involved. Reflects ash onto one of the bodies. Something extremely dangerous. Almost got me for good last year and took me a few weeks to get back in action. Why are you doing this? Some motherfuckers have an unfortunate tendency to hurt people I care about. My brothers, my sisters. I see. I don't know how it is in other cities, but here, funny enough, they only seem to target marginalized and radicalized kindred, ones that can theoretically pose a threat to the current order. Meanwhile, the establishment in New York City hasn't really changed ever since the laborers stepped down. Quite the opposite. Every SI raid in the city has only strengthened the old paradigm. Almost makes you think their goal is something other than protecting the citizens from the blank body menace. Mika throws her cigarette into the puddle, unfinished, and crushes it under her heel. She obviously has difficulty smoking. It's like she's only ever tried it a few times. I assume she saw me carrying a pack and decided to try it to calm her nerves after the battle. Or maybe she just wanted an excuse to make her conversation less awkward. Who knows? What's going on, Silver? How you been? Been a hot minute. A lot of old names come up. Something happened? Did I do something? I smell good? Yeah, I know I smell good. Go shower, put on some On some Dolce & Gabbana. I know it smells good. What I do? How you been, Silver? What's been going on? So you're planning to snitch on me, Shadow Girl? Why would I do that? Let me get this straight. You really think I am dumb enough to believe for 1 second that a Camarilla investigator just so happened to stumble upon an alley where I just killed a bunch of SI motherfuckers? If so, you're the one who's dumb, sister. Looks like I need to show her I mean business, just like I showed Nastia yesterday. Look, I'm gonna get two shits whether you kill 1 or a dozen or 1,000 SI operatives. Whatever, do your thing. I do think you might have been involved in a murder that actually concerns me. Callahan's murder. What? What are you talking about? I found this on his body. Well, what remained of it. Show her the note. Tries to grab it, to read it, but I don't let her. Aside from your name, we've got Hope, Agathon, and D'Angelo. You know them? Passingly. The idea of why Callahan would need a list of all your names? I might know why, yeah. Do you? Absolutely. Do you know a man going by the name Torque? I sure do. Huh. Of course I do. You know about his connection to Boss Callahan and by proxy to this list and me? No, I'm all ears. Well, too bad, because it's classified intel, sister. What do you mean by classified? Not free. Oh, great. As if I were in a position to or could afford any sort of quid pro quo. Fine, let's hear it. What do you want? She motioned towards the bodies. Killed too many of these assholes. We're tightening screws. As it is, New York City is no longer safe for someone like me. Well, not that it ever was. Oh man. Bracing for something unreasonable. What I need is a way out of the city. You offered that to me. I give you the intel you need. Huh. Just look at that. That's something I can handle, actually, yeah. Raises her eyebrows. That's a surprisingly confident answer for practically still a neonate. I'm something of an immigration officer. Psst, gotta say, you sound awfully close to a cop. Almost as bad, a bureaucrat. Know of a secret pathway that would lead you to the West Coast, 100% safe travel, and if you took it, you'd be untraceable. Now, this is too good to be true. What's the catch? Wait until you see how much it costs. Magnus, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. The only reason I know this route is because a certain Nazi criminal group reached out to me on account of my position and offered a mutually beneficial deal regarding legal kindred travel. Nosferatu. So a expensive route to the West Coast, even though the West Coast is kind of light. What's up, Speedy? Normally I refuse. They offer me the only thing that can buy me, a lot of cash. Fine. Money's not an issue. That's something I never had a chance to say in earnest. Okay, then. You should assist me first, and we'll figure out how to transport you out of the city. Hell no. Is this really the extent of your negotiation skills? Why would you think this kind of line would work? I didn't. I just don't think either of us trust the other enough to afford the benefit of the doubt. It's an impasse. It's true. Let me think. She's lost in her thoughts for a moment, then speaks up. Have you met Torque before? In the course of your investigation before? I wanted to, but on the Anarch side, I only managed to meet Mia. She wasn't keen on the idea of the two of us meeting. Ah, yes, Mia. Everybody loves Mia. Her expression betrays she's got some vicious stories to tell. But it'd be beneath her to divulge them. Too bad. Maybe it could be a bonding experience. So here's the thing. A few months ago, Torque and I were together. Together? Okay. A lot of things happened, and long story short, I no longer feel close to him. but from what I know, he still feels close to me. Back when I thought there might have been something between us, I gave him a ring that has a lot of sentimental value to me, and since these days sentimentality is all that keeps me going, I want it back. So my suggestion is tell Torque's people I sent you. Get inside his base of operations, meet up with him, ask him your questions, and convince him to give me my ring back. Get to interrogate him, and then I get to have my ring back, and you hear my side of the story, and I get to leave the city with your help. Everybody wins more than once. They will really just let me in because I tell them you sent me? They will. Trust me. It sounds too easy. Will cause the two of you to drift apart. Reconcilable differences in worldview. Well, I assume so, but that's a diplomatic answer. I'm going to involve myself in the relationship drama with two ex-lovers. I'll need something more to go on. Will you? Yeah. She picks her words carefully. I realized I'd become an element of his carefully crafted, projected image. Having me as a radical partner allowed him to present himself as a mediator, while paying lip service to revolutionary ideas. Mediator. That's the 21st century for you. Everyone wants to be a middleman these days. Nobody wants to do what's right. You serious? Whenever I hear about Torque from the Ancilla, they talk about him like he's the second coming of Mao. If you ever seen that, it's only because from time to time, people like me pushed him into doing an uneasy thing. Ever heard of the Southern Wolf and the Northern Fox? Both of them want to eat you for dinner, but only the Southern Wolf makes it immediately obvious. The tricky Northern Fox makes eyes and allows you to pet him before taking a bite. Torque loves to surround himself with Northern Foxes. They talk of compromises. They seem reasonable compared to the opposition. But at the end of the day, they have their eyes on the same prize: power. Hearing this gives me a foreboding feeling, but I can't quite nail down why. Alright, tell me where to go and I'll tell you where we'll meet later. Oh no, the shadows again. Well, that was a fast forward. I'm just chilling at Torque's when suddenly a shrill, loud voice pierces my eardrums. What the hell are you doing here? Oh yay, it's a pissy lady from Torque's inner circles. Are you always this pissed off? Only when Ivory Tower bootlickers pop up to ruin my day. You want me to act happier, make yourself scarce. No can do. Your boss let me in here. The hell he did. Get out. I thought you'd be more open to cooperation after our last talk. Not when you're trying to make deals behind my back, bitch. Mia, it's okay. It's all right. There he is, walking through the door. The most infamous New York City Barons. Or, as some people start calling him, the moment Callahan met us in, the Baron of New York City. Torque, we talked about this. Situation's a little bit different now. Tamika Center. What? Bullshit. I wasn't able to track her down for weeks. Well, I did. And guess what? It took me one night, you clown. I've had enough of bitchy henchwomen for the week, so I can't help but put her down. She shoots me a hateful look, but Torque gestures at her to stay quiet. This is a reason to celebrate, not to get mad. Now, you allow the two of us private conversation. No way. I want to keep an eye on her. You will keep an eye on the exit, and that'll be enough. Please. He puts on his best authoritative tone, and it works. No protest this time. This time, Mia leaves the room. When talking to Mia, you mentioned cooperation. First I've heard about it. I tried to make friends with her so that the investigation would go more smoothly. Looks like it wasn't appreciated. I'm sorry about her. She can be overzealous, but usually that's not a bad thing. Yeah, sure. So has she told you I've been trying to reach you for a few nights? I don't think so. Have you? Well, I'm the dumbass the court ordered to investigate Callahan's final death. So considering your connection to the case, I thought it'd be prudent for us to talk. Ah, so that's you. Yeah. Now, I know you're probably anxious to hear about Tamika. I'm surprised to hear you two know each other. I actually met through this investigation. Anyway, as I was saying, I know you probably can't wait to hear about her, but I'd like to ask you a few questions first. Understand. Do your job. Did you know Douglas Callahan? Of course I did. We're both barons. have had professional obligations to meet each other, but that was it. What was your private opinion of him? Same as everyone else's. Racist clown, mentally stuck in the 18th century. We spent too much time keeping the anarchs down. I'm glad he's gone. You mean you're glad he met final death? Well, you know what they say. Hate to see you go, love to watch you leave. Weren't you the first kindred who saw his corpse? I was, but it was his ghouls who found him. By the way, we established that some of them tampered with the crime scene. They were properly disciplined for that. Me and Story. Let's move on. What's your alibi for that night? None. I was running around town the entire night taking care of various issues. I'm related to Callahan, but I don't intend to divulge them to someone from the Ivory Tower. So you have no interest in proving yourself innocent? My official position was made clear. It was Camarilla who had to blame. It's your job to prove me wrong. Kuromak. At least for once, I face a problem that can be solved with pure logic, not politics. Any findings on your side I should know of? Ask Mia. She's the one who handled the murder scene. I'm not privy to all the details. Hope, D'Angelo, Agathon. Any idea who these people are? Can't recall. Sorry. The evidence I've found suggests a potential link between Callahan and Tamika. Any clue? I knew both of them well, but as far as I know, they never met. That's it. Oh well, not sure what I expected. He's the kind of guy that could only be pushed to talk if I had something concrete to push him with. Time to move on. Well, regarding Tamika, finally, I got straight to the chase. She wanted to inform you she'll be skipping town for a while. Besides hot on her trail and she needs to lose them. ASAP. I told her countless times, if she's in danger, I'll always be there for her. Does she think she can find a secure way out of the city in this situation? She's safe. So you say. She's got some other friends in high places. She'll manage to get out. And I admit, it's not what I expected to hear, what I wanted to hear. Why did she decide to contact me? He wants her ring back. His aura changes in a blink of an eye. I see now. But that's why she didn't show up herself. Wouldn't even face me when delivering the final insult. Uh-oh, looks like I stepped on a landmine. She said the ring was a symbol of the trust she put in me. No way in hell I'm going to give it away. Not until she gives me the chance to explain myself. I need that ring to get Tamika to talk, but the way he's acting doesn't seem likely he'll be willing to part with it. It might require me to act shitty, but maybe. Time to change my approach? No, we're lying through our fucking teeth. Listen, this is none of my business, but I think you got something wrong here. How exactly? She still loves you. He's only doe-eyed for a short moment, but it's obvious I hit him where it hurts. You said you just met her. How would you know? We found an SI patrol together. I won me her trust, and then in an unexpectedly honest talk woman to woman. Let Mia's away. If she was still in the room, I'd be far too embarrassed to let this shit escape my mouth. Torque just nods, prompting me to go on. She's conflicted. She understands the painful realities of this world, but wants to hold on to her ideals. That's why it's harder for her to stay close to you. Even though deep down she resentfully respects you slow and steady work, She still wants to give her own approach a chance. My God, what am I doing? Why would she want the ring? I mean, it's an obvious message. I was wrong to put my hopes in you. It's a punishment. She wants you to remember you by, to have the symbol of those hopes near her. Remind her there's always another way. Look, I know this is hard for you. You gotta give her time and the benefit of the doubt. Pay dividends in the long run. To only make her realize her misconceptions might have been wrong. Realization slowly dawns on him. My God, he's actually buying it. I'm dying inside. He takes the ring out of his inside pocket, and passes it on to me. Go. Tell her I'll be waiting, and my feelings haven't changed. Of course. Should Mia lead you up? No need. I'll manage. As I leave, I feel very self-conscious about the pace of my walk. I feel like I just got away with murder. If he relays what I said to Mia, we'll probably see through my bullshit in an instant. But I won't be my problem at that point. Time to meet Tamiko. I find her already waiting in front of the Jewish Museum. How'd it go? She raises her eyebrows as I put her the golden ring into her palm. I'm quite surprised, to be honest. I didn't think you'd succeed. Turns out I'm a talented diplomat. Psh, in my experience, that usually means a liar. That's exactly what I did. Tamika, don't read me the filth. Stop it. She looks at the ring with a gentle gaze and stores it safely in her pocket. Or has he really changed? Who knows? I just met him for the first time in my life. Unlife. Anyway, I kept my end of the bargain. Of course, it's time I keep mine. Last year, a certain fledgling appeared in the city and attempted to build a coterie. That list you found in Callahan, that's the list they got. They contacted each of us and then found themselves in deep shit. SI, Kaiser, Sophie Langley, some shadow players manipulating everything from behind the scenes, and they disappeared. Kaiser, name popping up once again. Can't be a coincidence. No one knows where or why, doesn't really matter. That happens when you punch way above your weight. But they're doing fine despite the odds. I didn't get you. You told me to fuck off. You don't give a shit about me. What are you talking about? She politely, I say politely, but she really just told me to fuck off. I wish the game would remember that. In any case, Torque got involved too. That's how I met him, actually. He got hurt. Didn't want to say how and claimed it could put anyone who knew in danger. Whatever happened gave him the drive and desire for change. For 2 months, he was a beautiful kindred, plain and simple. Suddenly, something in him snapped overnight. His tone mellowed out. His actions became timid. His language became more befitting of a political science student than a charismatic leader. I assumed he met someone who made him an offer he couldn't refuse. I had no idea who that was. Sophie. And then one night, following when he went out, I saw him scheming at the dogs with Callahan. When he came back, we had an argument. When he refused to explain himself, I knew I was on my way out. And that was that. I understand. Wish I'd known that earlier. Might have confronted the facts with him and learned something more. He never told me of all kindred. What makes you think he wouldn't have told you? He's got a point, I suppose. All right, thank you. That's my turn. Here's your way out. I point out the manhole below our feet. Here's a map of the sewers. Follow the route and burn it. Be looking for a one-eyed Nosferatu wearing tactical gear. Tell him I sent you and give him the agreed upon amount of money. What kind of route will I be taking anyway? An armored van full of precious coffins. My man knows how to arrange them to allow for unnoticed extra cargo. Her face darkens. Circulatory system? What'd you expect? Rich and powerful always get their blood they want, one way or another. At least tonight, one of their roots will be used for something good. He drops his shoulders in resignation and opens up the manhole cover. Fine, but remember, if it doesn't work, I'll be back at your doorstep with a vengeance if it's the last thing I do. I'm sure it'll work out fine. Just beware of a giant albino ghoul alligator while you're down there. Mika rolls her eyes. Sewer ghoul alligator? Your information is just a story New York kindred tell neonates to mess with them while they're still gullible enough to believe anything they hear about their new world. Oh, that makes sense, I suppose. Well, this is a goodbye. Within a few months, you hear that the First Light presence in Los Angeles has been decimated. Assume that against all odds, I'm still unalive and kicking. If you keep killing indiscriminately, you might cross the line with no return, you know. Shouldn't you take it easy for a while? Until my brothers and sisters in blood stop being slaughtered. I care about what's left of my humanity, but turning a blind eye on kindred and Eve would be even less human. But that's the kind of person she is. Probably will be until the very end. It must be comforting in a way. Know that your path will end, yet follow it all the same. I can never do that. Here's some parting advice for you. We might be monsters, but we're lucky enough to be born into a world that's even more monstrous than we are. If we rebel against it, might still find salvation. If only I could believe it. Didn't expect the preaching tone. Why are you telling me this? Because I think we have a pretty good nose for people's auras. When I take a good look at you, I smell a penchant for ruthless opportunism. I smell the possibility that you'll give in to the fear, the dark visions of the future you've conjured in your head. I smell a controlling anger that might get out of hand if you get a whiff of power. I smell someone who doesn't value the truth that much. It's not much, just a hunch. But you seem prone to giving into the Camarillo's empty promises of safety and their petite bourgeoisie values. I think I should take offense to that. I hope you do. I will reflect on you well. In any case, whatever happens. See you in your next life, Julia. Safe travels, Tamika. I skipped tonight's visit to the church. I'm not in the mood to see Benoit. Still embarrassed about yesterday's outburst. I'm kind of pissed when the clan elders in Chicago bothered to reply to any of my fucking reports. No advice, no feedback, nothing. I feel like I was left utterly alone. Besides, it's late. I always get back to the apartment early in the morning, right before it gets bright. It's getting risky to be out here so close to sunrise. Accidents can happen. I'll try to get back earlier tomorrow night, attempt to surprise Dakota. Yeah. I'm back. Yay. How's work? All caught up? I managed to get my deadlines postponed. Our clients are canceling and delaying orders left and right. Does that mean you'll have time to help me with my makeup tomorrow? We'll see. Perfect. All right. I need to disappear before the sun catches up with me. Hey. Yeah? I love you. Oh. An easy silence fills the room. I'm not getting out of this one, am I? I've already come up with one love story tonight. What's another? I love you too. I quickly turn away to avoid looking at her sincere smile, leave the rest. Oh, Jesus, Julia. I finally reached Big Beat Burger, hoping to recuperate from all the mental damage accumulated over the past few days. When to find out the doors are locked and nobody's inside. Oh, no. I need to be soothed. I need my routine. You've absolutely got to be kidding me. Closed? The fuck do you mean closed? I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Everything's closed. Pandemic? What pandemic? You live under a fucking rock? It's a new SARS virus straight from China. The whole world's going crazy over it. People are dying left and right. Holy shit. I didn't know like something like this could happen in this day and age. Somehow it always felt like we were beyond it. Well, I guess it's lucky I'm dead. What way to avoid bringing more attention to myself? Now I understand why NYC was downright apocalyptic tonight. It's like a psychedelic experience to see these familiar streets empty and abandoned. Let's see what parts of the city are still alive in the middle of a plague. All this malaise spreading through the boroughs is putting me in a weird mood. Seems like I can't outrun it, so maybe I'll intensify it instead? Smallpox hospital, here I come. I entertained the thought of sneaking through a hospital to see how things appeared up close, but it looked like an actual war zone, so I decided against it. I don't know what I expected with the way healthcare reforms have been going in this state. Fewer facilities in poorer areas, fewer beds, less funding. We're just reaping what they've sown. That's why I used to honestly consider going back to the old country. American friend was like, why would you go back to that shithole? He was shocked to learn we had normal free healthcare. Anyway, if an active hospital won't do, this one might. Smallpox hospital on Roosevelt Island. Built the quarantine to pour in the unloved victims of pandemics away from normal citizens' eyes. In spite of its disrepair, or maybe partly because of it, the architecture still manages to perfectly convey the building's painful history. The ghosts are there. The ghosts are here. There are ghosts here. They're mostly the good metaphorical kind, not the kind I usually see. Looks like there's also might be a lone physical being here. Here's someone sneaking through the ruins. Stat for my peace and quiet. Oh well, I need to satiate my thirst anyway. How do I approach that person? I'll say hi. Move closer to intercept them. I wait behind a corner for a moment, then emerge when I hear their steps nearby. Hi. Huh! In her panic, she drops something on the floor, breaks into 1,000 little pieces. God, don't scare me like that. I'm sorry? Look what you made me do. Kneels to pick out the pieces of some ugly glass sculpture. Shape is familiar. Was that a Scrooge McDuck figurine? Yes, it was. A Carl Banks design. They stopped making these decades ago. I didn't even know how long it took me to find it. I was really looking forward to decorating my haven with this. Ugh. A Scrooge McDuck? It's pop art, okay? Haven. Of course, now I realize that what I couldn't put into words. It was a feeling she might be kindred. She seemed as airheaded and eccentric. I wouldn't want to pick a fight with her. What a hunch. Apologize. My name's Julia. I'm a La Sombra representative for the city. I'm a representative you are. Absolutely horrible first impression. Somehow we never met before. You live here? I prefer keeping to myself these nights. More time for hobbies if you hide inside secluded places like this. What's your name? Just call me Princess. Princess? True name is for friends only. After destroying my treasure, I count you a sworn enemy. When you least expect it, I'll find you. I will trap you in a reality of eternal pain. I should complain to the court at least, honestly. Tell Holland to start looking for a replacement. So sorry I won't cut it, huh? Adair would surely be thrilled to see Prince Helene assigned me to the mission of looking for a rare Scrooge McDuck statue. I prefer to avoid that fate, even if it doesn't seem very likely. How can I make it up to you? Should I search for a replacement online or? Oh, whatever. I'm not gonna lie to you. I prefer not to stay mad for long. It's exhausting. It's a threat to your beauty, both the inner and outward. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna ask you for a small favor, and we'll be square. Won't have to worry about becoming ugly. Sound good? What favor? See, I'm super into low art these days. That's why I collect stuff like Scrooge McDuck lamps. Used to be hardcore into high art before, so I did harmonic structure bucks and tatas, taught myself Arabic just to weep over Middle Eastern poetry, a lot of Joyce and Adorno, etc., etc. Eventually, these hobbies got boring, as all things do, so I'm switching it up now. Comic books, heavy rock music, modern Hollywood movies, stuff made for small children, basically. Problem is, I think I'm still not low enough. There's still too much mastery of the form, too much restraint, too much respectability, too much tastefulness. I want to feel the rush of gazing into the soul of someone willing to admit to truly degenerate desires and obsessions. So I want the lowest kind of art you can find. Just sweep me on my feet and we'll be good. Not the kind of request I expected, but how low is too low? There's no such thing as too low. Huh? Okay. Back when I was alive, I refused advances from a guy who lived outside of Astoria. He definitely still owns some incredibly low art. But what exactly should I get her? Huh. Video game is low art? Let's go with the Animu. Okay, I'll be back in a jiffy. Takes me just over an hour to get there. Wake him in the middle of the night, mess with his head a little, get back with an appropriately low work of art. So I've got something. Don't be shy, what is it? That's our DVD box with a busty hand-drawn girl licking a giant katana. According to the description he printed for me, this thing is named Arisu no Taiboken. This can't be real. Yeah, Lilith's Avenger. The cover says Lilith's Carnal Carnival. Yeah, no idea why the name's written like that. Anyway, this 90s original video animation presents us with a tale of 5 big bosom samurai warriors traveling through America in search of General Hasta Vista, the Incubus King. While all the titillation misguides you, the main draws here are peerless direction, nearly avant-garde editing rhythm, and dialogue that coyly comments on traditional general roles in anime. Once you see the animation in the final battle, you understand why it never fails to set a Sakuga fan's heart ablaze. Note, Sakuga, uncountable. In Japanese anime, a sequence of noticeably higher quality used to highlight a particularly important scene. So yeah, it sure does sound like low art. Eyes down, I await her response. This is great. It is? Yeah, I have no idea what I'm looking at, but I can feel its utterly degenerate nakedness and intentions, just what I needed. Believe me, I've had more than enough of art trying to dazzle or win me over, be used as a stepping stone in someone's illustrious career. I just want someone to be like, screw it. I don't want to impress anyone. I don't want to get anywhere. I just want to vomit out my soul for all the freaks to see. Yeah, that's anime. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Oh my God, I got the perfect gift. No, it's okay. It's some ecchi anime and then most hentai. So yeah, I got the perfect present. I think in its own way, it might be the ultimate form of art. So, is my debt paid? I suppose. So can I know your name now? Let me think. No. He turns away and disappears into the night. Well, that was an interesting distraction from all the malaise in the city. I suppose it's time to go back to the miserable business I've been saddled with. The time comes for me to meet up with Kadir and hopefully D'Angelo too. The last position on my list, this better be good. And that's D'Angelo's agency. Looks like a dump. Ugh. Perfect for the clan of the hidden. Well, he wasn't hidden. Well, he was missing, and to be honest, I kind of expected the worst. Why would we look for him in the most obvious place? I've been asking around, and I've got a hunch. Just trust it and start looking. Fine. Who's D'Angelo, anyway? He's a good man. Useful man, but it took me time to get used to him. He takes sleuthing very, very seriously. This thing is acting like an idiosyncratic noir detective. Very helps him cope with something, but I never felt comfortable tackling the subject. Doesn't sound too quirky by this city standards. Wait, what is that? There's a rat on the floor, frozen in an unnatural position. Weird shit. What's up, Sari? How you doing? Despite my disgust, I picked the rodent up. That's what being an investigator's all about. Leave no stone unturned. Shut up, this is so gross. What have you found out? Take a close hard look at the rat. It's alive, but when I see he's just stretching out, like grinding his teeth without a care in the world. It's called bruxing. What? The rat chatters its teeth. That's bruxing. He's not acting panic or aggressive, so I guess he's just happy. Look at its face. I don't know. His eyes keep coming out of the socket and going back in. It looks disgusting, like he's in a lot of pain. So he's boggling. He must really be content. How does he know so much about... Never mind. I'm getting an eerie feeling. This is weird, man. I have a feeling there's a kindred hiding nearby, weird. My thoughts exactly. He slowly approaches a secluded corner of the room. And there it is. He kicks a pile of clothes lying on the floor. I'm just a corpse. Leave me alone. Like if we're all corpses here, D'Angelo. We're among friends. Clumsily, drunkenly, the pile of clothes transforms into an unkempt man. Looks like he's suffering from some sort of skin disease. You know, a true friend would just bury me. Lucky for you, we're not that kind of friends. Lucky, unlucky, schmucky my ass. How'd you guess I was here? See, I've been asking around for the past few days. I learned is that for reasons that can be best described as nebulous. I mean, quite a few enemies since last year. Yeah, tell me something I didn't know. And one thing that's caught my interest is how everyone has it on good authority that your place was raided a few times without you being found, yet nobody has assumed responsibility for these acts. Hell, doesn't this den always look like it was just raided? Can't blame anyone for making an educated assumption. I had a hunch these might be more than rumors. See, it sure looks like a convenient coincidence when everyone hears something that makes them look the other way, and coincidences are for fools. Well, you got my number and you can see my ugly mug right in front of you, so it's no use playing dumb, I suppose. Agreed. You seriously spent all these weeks holed up in here? Is the hunger not getting to you? You got a lot of critters around this area, and we've become chums. One of these rats actually got addicted to the kiss. They come to me every night acting like the cokehounds, begging for it. And getting drunk just to get some rush out of feeding on them. Feels like slathering a horribly burned piece of pizza and ketchup. In this situation, I'll take what I can get, you dig? It's so gross I feel to keep my poker face. He notices. Who's the dame? Judah Sawinski, detective investigating Baron Callahan's death. He raises his head for a short while to stare into Kadir's eyes and treat him with a vulgar snicker. Phooey. Somebody has finally put the old man on ice. Whoever did the world a huge favor. Absolutely, but I got orders to establish who that was. I've been stumbling in the dark for the past few days. Need your help. I'll be damned. Your sleuth skills must really be up to par if you're begging a bum for help. Not exactly a sleuth. I'm just someone who's forced to act like one. Good for you, kiddo. Good for you. You stick to this trade in this day and age, you gotta be batty as hell. Why'd the court pick you? What used to be your day job? I was a journalist. Ah, well, I understand then. Private investigator might be a respectable step up. Accidentally lets a metal flask in his hand slip out and fall to the floor, and struggles to pick it up. Deer can't bear to watch. God, what happened to you, Gianni? Never seen you this low before. Stress-related disorders causing a disruption in my routine. It's what I think a shrink would say. Happens when a lot of shady folk are out to put a stake through your chest. Help us out. Tell us what you know and we might be able to help you in return. Yeah, respect where it's due, miss. I think it's going to be the other way around. I ain't telling to you shit, pardon my French, so I know I can count on some protection. Gianni? Don't you Gianni me, Kadir Al-Asmai. I know your level, but I also know that your honor is one of the few things you care about. You want me to endanger myself? You put it on the line for me. And that's that. You've promised to extend your protection to me, but the moment you step away from here, I sneak away into the sewers and that's the last time you'll ever see me. There shoots me a weary sideways glance. I know, he drives a hard bargain. Especially for someone whose sense of self-worth does not exactly appear to be sky high at the moment. Maybe. I do value my own life quite a lot, thank you very much. Friends. Dear sighs. Alright. 3 months from now, at the moment Prince Pinard tells me it's no longer possible for the court to offer you safety without compromising its principles, you're on your own. No negotiations, that's the only deal I can strike with you. Take it or leave it. Angelo scratches his head, grunts loudly, tugs on his mask and stands up. That's Jake. That's Jake with me, big fella. I've had strong opinions about Panhard, but hell, sitting on dynamite. I'll take what I can get. What else in New York would you rather rely on? You want me to call the mayor? My opinions about the prince aren't that bad. So, what do you good fellas want from me? Who wants you dead? Starting the interrogation with a tricky one. Wouldn't I like to know? Step up, Gianni. Seem to be forgetting how quid pro quo works. Wouldn't I like to know won't cut it. I'm gonna tell you, that Warlock, Gothion or whatever his name is, presumed dead, Tamika, MIA with SI on her back, possibly KIA by now. Hope's a cook in their office under Vander Vaden's skirt. Around the time they started having trouble, some rough-looking streetwise kindred started hanging out in my usual spots. Didn't take me long to connect the dots. Wait, what's the connection between you and those 3? Ever since last year, folks started hiring us for various gigs. They're even trying to get us to join their coteries. All these opportunities were rather short-lived. However, Delicate tightrope act of working for various employers made us fully aware there's an intrasect alliance in NYC. Kindred from both sides often work the same goals without knowing it. The moment we started figuring it all out, cleanup crew went downtown. I know the serious Warlock boy sniffed something out in his own backyard, but then poof, he disappeared. Then I lost all contact with Hope and Tamika and went AWOL. Hope they're doing fine. They didn't snitch on me to anybody. They are. They didn't even tell me you guys knew each other, so I think you're safe. Huh. Wait a sec. Why were you milking them for intel, kiddo? Found a list of 4 names on Callahan's remains. You can probably guess what they were. I get the picture, yeah. Christ almighty. I heard it was just a list of freelancers, potential associates, properly prepared by Carter Vanderweyden. My money is on him being involved, but I smell bullshit. Have you got any idea who might have done the boss in? Any more clues? None at all. That's where we want you to come in, friend. Investigate the murder scene the only way you know how. Tell us what you think. Guide Julie in the proper direction. Angelo sizes me up, scratching his head. Sure, whatever. I'll try my best, kiddo. Lead the way. I'll drive you there, or at least as close as possible. I wouldn't be welcome that deep in our territory. Just clean yourself up a bit, Gianni. I had my upholstery cleaned earlier this week. After dropping us off at the same place Catherine first introduced me to Mia, Deer quickly drives away. Here we are. Swell. Classic closed room mystery. Let me take a look. Starts walking around the office, carefully taking in every element. They're saying you're basically a nobody. You can simply call Catherine Weiss and have her open sesame and our crib for you? Oh no, sure sounds like somebody to me. Don't misunderstand, I only met her during the course of this investigation. Whereas basically been treating me like dirt wherever I go. I'm only knowledge enough to legitimize the sham. Lord Castlereagh. That was an abrupt interruption. That's basic sharing, damn it. Excuse me? He's pointing out the painting of the man overseeing this entire office. I met Murder on the way. He had a mask like Castlereagh. Very smooth he looked, yet grim. 7 bloodhounds followed him. As soon as I completely switched his modus operandi when seeing the murder scene, he's in his own little world and his behavior has become more machine-like, erratic. I still don't follow. Never knew the old Irish coot was into the Napoleonic era. Then again, I have no idea about his exact age or, of course, or so maybe that's when he lived or was born. Anywho, pay no attention to me, alright? Who am I looking at here? Right. That's one Lord Castlereagh, born as Robert Stewart, British Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs at the beginning of the 18th century. Incredibly influential, incredibly hated. Ask one thing about Castlereagh and he'll tell you. He's a man who destroyed Napoleon for good, a man who shaped British politics for ages, a man who built foundations for European unity at Vienna. Ask another fellow and he'll tell you he was the man who destroyed the Irish Parliament, the man who cracked down on any possibility of reform and supported the cavalry massacring peaceful protesters. He's finding these facts like a computer. Is that the hint of the detective's photographic memory? And to say it's downright perverted for an Irishman to put up Castlereagh's portrait in his office. Never proof that our victim was sick in the head. As if we needed more evidence there. Probably idolized him too. Maybe identified with him even. Yeah, it's possible. Callahan and his ilk adore those jagoffs who strive to reach across the aisle and achieve hard compromises. Too bad nobody else ever remembers him well. I feel like I should say something. I've got this nagging feeling in the back of my mind. How did he die? Committed suicide in the 1820s. His family took every sharp item away from him, but he was still, dedicated. Why'd he do it? Precious mountain from all sides. Deserved hate coming from all sides. Plain old overwork. Also might have gone nuts. Kept saying he saw ghosts. Otherworldly silhouettes were guiding him, yada yada. That sounds familiar. An unpleasant feeling grows in my stomach. He was probably La Sombra. Also, there's a rumor someone was threatening to expose him as a homosexual. Having to choose between being publicly denounced and ending it all by his own hand, chose the latter. Well, that's just depressing. Maybe. But the silver lining is it couldn't have happened to a nicer fella. He stops above Callahan's corpse and laughs. Posterity will ne'er survey nobler grave than this. Here lies the bones of Castle Reed. Stop, traveler, and piss. He kicks his bones with glee, causing me to jump a little. He's still under the influence? Isn't that tampering with the crime scene? You know, as far as I can see, the crime scene has been fucked with 3 times over. Can't really be ruined more than it already has. I agree, but it looked about the same the last time I was here. And it was already a total mess before you ever got here. Whatever. Thinking about the metal shutters in the window, he abruptly changes the topic. Lightproof. Have you toyed with these? No, in general, I avoid machinery like that. It doesn't like me and I don't like it. You don't like you? It don't work properly. Like I give technology an allergy. Sometimes industrial cameras mess up my face. Sometimes I can't use a phone. You think it could be useful, but it's just a curse. I see. You think these blinds could have been the murder weapon? How so? Let me explain. Let's say for some reason our stiff was standing there just as the sun was rising. He was staring at poor Castlereagh looking for a soulmate to accompany him to the other side, yet another guy pushed to suicide by politics. Pretty old school, romantic, yada yada yada. Maybe it was torpor. Maybe it was a freak accident. Or maybe it was premeditated. In any case, sunlight would be the perfect murder weapon, no? Takes off the mask to shoot an undisfigured smile my way. Well, that's just a theory anyway. Well, sounds sound. Does it? Those are just spitballing. It's practically impossible to make certain now, kiddo. The most logical cause of final death would be damage to the heart. It can easily be done without damage to the skeleton. He sets off with a wink. What's he playing at here? That's safe. You want to make a crack at it yet? As far as I know, only Callahan knew the code. The safe itself is pretty hard to crack. Watch me, kiddo. Presses an ear to the safe and slowly begins to rotate the dial. Stop clowning around. You're a safe cracker now? Are you cursed with countenance such as mine? You decide on a job such as mine, you gotta be a jack of all trades. Yeah, but it still sounds pretty hard. Last year, there was a random fellow visiting a heritage museum in Alberta. He found a safe that hasn't been opened in 40 years. Not a single specialist, nor even a blacksmith, could have handled it. Man just studied the numbering, listened closely to the mechanism, and attempted the most sensible combinations, and voila. The unthinkable happened. That's where just trusting your instincts lead you. The bounty found nothing inside but an old pay sheet. The talk screech. The door's open. I'll be damned. It looks like we got the same case here. Confetti. A few random papers scattered around. For what it's worth, the lock has obvious traces of mechanical manipulation. Probably recent, too. Reeks of foul play. What do we know for sure, really? I'm done here. You can take over. Another wink, another walk in a random direction, and I look inside the safe. Quite spacious. I haphazardly grab everything that's left inside the safe and hide it on my person. Close the door so that nobody knows he managed to crack it. I turn around, he's motioning me to come closer to a sheet of paper lying on the desk. So yeah, kiddo, you probably know the entire beeswax about Schrodinger's cat. I'm not going to bore you with that. Honestly, anything could have happened here. I read a text he's written on the empty page. This place is wired. Gives me chills. I think I'm okay. I've tried to record my own voice a bunch of times on different hardware, just to see if I can. Mostly comes out as noise. He nods and starts scribbling something else as he continues blabbering on and on. Best strategy would be to make an educated guess about what happened here, and interrogate everyone about it. Maybe he'll take someone by surprise, drop a hook on them. Wiretaps a chip in a broken glass bottle on the floor, absolutely sure it belongs to Kaiser. Kaiser, elusive information broker, the talk of the city. I only got an excuse to nab him. I understand. I got an idea how to use it to find him. To notify Kadir? Scribble. Takes longer than before. See, I'll be meeting up with Kadir. You stay here, sister. Maybe there's something you've been missing. You're called, doll. You're going beyond his jurisdiction, so he will try to stop you. Whatever you do, just give me a 10-minute heads up, so I can get to relative safety. For sure. It's back into the sheriff's custody for me. You around, Julia, or this old codger could have been more help. Whatever I got was plenty. See you around, D'Angelo. Damn. So this is how we're meeting Kaiser. I've got a plan. All I need to execute is a clueless bystander. This guy'll do. Do you, need me for anything else? Not really. Better take a hike before the guy you just called showed up. Can guarantee he won't make you hurt. Will do. Puts his head down and obediently trots away down the street. Might have messed with his head a little too much using my wildly kindred charms. I needed him to tell Kaiser where I want to meet, quite clearly multiple times. Would have given him the kiss as thanks at least, but told the big man I won't be here all night and that he'd better hurry up, so I want to be ready whenever he comes. Less than 15 minutes later, a menacing black limo takes a fast, sharp turn onto my street and stops right in front of me. Suddenly, something like an acid flashback hits me. I know this limo. I've seen it all around over the past few days, but never thought it might be tailing me. Still, it must have. Looks like I'm finally about to get some answers. Doors open and a raspy voice comes from inside. Get the fuck in, Sawinski. I smile and accept the invitation. There he is, Kaiser, the king of New York City's information highways, surrounded by screens, speakers, and newfangled technological gizmos of all kind. First impression. He's one repulsive son of a bitch. D'Angelo was also a sewer rat. Might have had similar physical disadvantages. At least he was wholly endearing. This guy, there's no room for any kind of sentiment. He's inhumanly cold, and I get the feeling he's been like this for ages. You're getting on my nerves, little lady, and I'm far from being the only one. Getting the sense he meant for all this to be threatening. Said, I'm elated. After a week of running around like a headless chicken, I'm sure if I was getting anywhere, finally, I get a compliment. There's one thing I learned back in Lodestar, is that you're only doing your job correctly when someone powerful gets visibly mad. Don't piss me off, old man. If you want to escalate, I can escalate. There's a lot of expensive shit here you probably won't want me to break. Yeah, I did hear you and Tech don't get along. Is that why you left that mess down in the double spiral basement? You scoffed at me with pure contempt. Listen, I'll speak as plainly as humanly possible to get this through your little head, since it's obvious you're not willing to read through the obvious signals. You were hired for one thing and one thing only, little lady, to suck at your job. You couldn't even do that correctly. People keep stopping by my limo this week telling me, Kaiser, you're Kaiser. You keep trying to make her understand how hopeless she is, but she just won't get a clue. Doesn't have any evidence, doesn't have any testimony, still goes around knocking on everyone's doors, causing disturbances. It's such a fucking headache. Usually I try to be a jovial host, so I try to cheer them up. He's not that much of a dunce, I say. He's making mountains out of molehills to make herself seem useful, I say. She's about to stop. But you, in your infinite idiocy, decided to prove me wrong in the most spectacular fashion by knocking on my very own door, forcing my hand, threatening me even. Are you autistic or something, huh? Can't read basic fucking social clues? Stop for 1 second and ask yourself, cui bono? Who even fucking wants you to solve anything, let alone this case? See, the city has a delicate system set in place. Usually it's flawless. But ever since you started tinkering with it, it's been having these irritating malfunctions and driving people... Are you done? Weird, disgusting sound, something between a gargle and a bark, escapes his throat. Unbelievable. All I'm hearing is that you're in possession of some information that might help me solve the puzzle I was presented with. That's the case. I'm going to ask you to share it. I swear, you're absolutely irredeemable, you fucking garbage dump of a woman. I didn't get through all the rubbish in your head to drive my point in. Don't you know who I am? You're the one who had Callahan's place wired. Which makes you a possible witness of sorts, or even a suspect. For Christ's sakes, woman, get real. Even if your accusations were correct, then who, pray tell, would you report them to? Do you even know what kind of people I answer to? No? Get her acquaintance? Is that really what you want? You want to know who pulls the strings? Give me 10 minutes and I can arrange a meeting. This is your last chance to turn back. If you don't, I can tell you now you're going to be sorry. The Big Kahuna? Finally. Now we're talking. Yes, the Big Kahuna. But this is your final answer, huh? Absolutely. Unbelievable. He takes out his phone and begins furiously typing. I relax in the seat. Finally, we're getting somewhere. It might be dangerous, yeah, but at least I'll finally get a clue of what's going on. I'm just saying, this is the point of no return. My boss doesn't fuck around. Best case, I'm gonna beg him to take you in. Whatever. He keeps grumbling under his breath, but I'm not even listening. Just watch the streets go by. Till out of the blue, I experience a strong sense of foreboding. I first spot her in the corner of my eye. She's hovering right next to Kaiser, an expression that's impossible to discern. When she speaks, her voice is machine-like, yet otherworldly. Fine. We're 5 minutes away or so. Get the boys ready to give her the Mel Gibson special. Wow. The moment he puts away his phone, the silhouette disappears. 5 minutes away. Let's start figuring out the ways you might prove yourself useful to the honcho. There is no honcho. Oh my god, of course this motherfucker's setting me up. I need to get out of here now. I do the first thing that comes to mind. Grab the door handle and pull. He knows me, he's scrambling and struggles to grab me. Hold up, you stupid fucking cunt. Glass breaking, loud thuds of something heavy hitting the asphalt. Tires screeching. I think he grabbed me, tried to pull me back in. I think we followed the limo. I think his body cushioned my fall. If I remember correctly, like I don't know how many years ago, Mel Gibson beat up his ex. So I think that's what he's referring to. I'm struggling to process what's going on, like I'm blanking out. He's already attempting to get up, cursing under his breath. Limo stopped a little further in, but whoever the driver is, he's not coming out. Fucking. Who stands up will be out for vengeance. He's an older vampire who knows how strong he is. Needs something that will give me the advantage. The pepper spray, of course. Probably won't be as effective as it would on a living person, but it's still worth a try. I limp towards the asshole, disarm the device, and aim towards his eyes and unload the entire canister. It worked. It actually worked. Keep up the offensive. I punch him, kick him, throw him around, pummel him, smash his head against the curb, struggle to harm him in whatever way I can like a frightened animal. I don't know how long it lasts. Maybe 1 minute, maybe an eternity. The driver steps out of the limo to help his boss, but once he sees what I'm doing, he runs away in panic. Feels good. Feels absolutely horrible. Once I'm done, I sit on the curb and scream my lungs out to avoid crying. And then I look at him. Oh, poor Kaiser. He's not looking good. He seems shocked, barely hanging on. I know what I've done was extremely stupid. I did hear how he's one of the most influential figures in the city. That's probably why he never expected to get his ass whooped, especially by someone like me. He speaks again, his voice is pathetic, probably close to a whimper. You'll pay. You'll fucking pay, you lost, mislaid, and abandoned property of a woman. He's unwell, talking nonsense. I approach him again. You wanted to have me whacked. What do you think, I'm stupid? You needed to be taught a lesson. Well, would you look at who ended up teaching who? Now talk. Tell me everything you know about Callahan's final death. All of it. Go to hell. You can fuck me up however bad you want. I'm still not gonna tell you shit. You try anything, there will be consequences. There will be retribution. My mouth is shut. It might be my last chance to solve the case, but if I don't force him to talk, he won't. There's a burgeoning thought in my mind, but it scares even me. If I dare push him to the edge, make him suffer until he squeaks. Yes. Well, I'm sure you'll open your mouth if I do this. Put a shin against the curb. Wait, what? And kick it with all my strength. Ah! It's a compound fracture. Barely managed to suppress my gag reflex. Feels like I'm Dissociating? You fucking Cypher! You fucking psychotic bitch! He's actually weeping like a child. Fully shatters a tough image he was trying to protect earlier. Like, this is the first time anyone has ever used physical violence against him. What if it is? Either start talking or the other leg goes, then the hands. Then I'll get creative. Try to collect myself and push his other leg against the curb. I'll talk! I'll fucking talk! The kick connects. It's a light one, sadistic feint. Still manages to get a pathetic whimper out of him. And talk. This had better be good. Looks at me with pure fury then begins to speak through clenched teeth. You want to know who was in Callahan's office before he died, little lady? Everyone. Fucking everyone and their mother was there. Vanderweyden, Aisling, Arturo and Panhard, Khmer douche motherfucker Tort with his sidekick, all of them. Callahan thought the only way out was to pit them all against each other, or to ally with every single one of them. Little did you know, it was all in their best interest for him to fucking die. It's good, it's great. But who killed them? I have no fucking idea. That won't do. Once again, I put his leg in a potentially disastrous position. In response, he starts howling maniacally. You fucking sadist! You fucking monster woman! I really have no idea! Who kept complaining to you about me? Who's responsible for getting rid of the evidence? Everyone! Everyone did! Goddamn Callahan had dirt on everyone and antagonized everyone, so it took everyone to fucking bring him down. All evidence is gone. Every theory is equally true, so none of it is. Don't you see, you fucking cunt? Everyone's complicit, so nobody is. Why the fuck do you think Sophie Langley is no longer around? Why is Torque no longer pretending to be a revolutionary? Why are free agents involved? Why are they shutting you up tomorrow? Shutting me up? Who? Can't you connect the dots, you dumb whore? What are you, a fucking retard? Man, he is really, oh my God. I'm not he's about to get Julia. Look back over my shoulder and see Kadir. Bloody hell, what is wrong with you? Kadir, you're out of control. This is why I didn't want you to get involved. I had a hunch. Hunch that the moment you get a whiff of true power, all brakes will be off. Bullshit. You're out of your damn mind. I should have you in for a potential masquerade breach. Just let me explain myself. This ugly fucker tried to have me beaten, maybe even killed. Don't you care about that? I have no idea, Sheriff. No idea. She's dangerous, psychotic. Shut the fuck up. Can't control myself. I kick him where I know it'll hurt him the most. I'm a fucking leg. Stop this right now, you goddamn idiot. Freeze in place. I've never heard him use that tone with me. I'll take care of you in a moment in my car, Kaiser. Hold on. I'm not done questioning yet. Looks like there's a major conspiracy I'm going to have to ask you to leave. You're going to be glad that I leave it at that. If you do that, I'm going to have to assume you're complicit. That's worth 2 strikes in my book. You don't want to risk a third. So that's that. Tell me, what was all my footwork even for? We seen each other, little lady. Can you hear this? Go home, Julia. What? Go home. Fine, I will. But before I do, I take a quick peek into Kaiser's limo. Still abandoned a little further down the street. I skip the church visit again. I want more time to finish this report. Who knows? It might be my final one. I want to spend more time with Dakota. Yeah, just forget about the rest of the world. A lot happened tonight, but I can still manage to be at our apartment an hour earlier than usual. She should be glad. I sneak into the apartment as silently as possible, trying to surprise her. I reach the bedroom. I see something unexpected. It hits me like a ton of bricks. At the beginning, I can't properly parse the sight. When I finally understand what I'm looking at, it causes a wave of terror and disgust to swell up inside my chest. What the fuck? He's shocked to see me. Doesn't know what to do. He's like a deer in headlights or a schoolgirl poorly trying to hide her misdeeds from a teacher. You're early. Yes, I am. These are my clothes, Dakota. These are my cigarettes. It's my jewelry on the table. Yeah, I'm pretty sure God Almighty. I thought I was just being neurotic whenever I noticed something dreadfully familiar in you. I can't explain. Please do explain. Good 10 seconds of awkward silence pass. I can see her spinning an eternity in her head. This isn't what it looks like. My God, it's exactly what it looks like. I'll just come out and say it. Dakota, are you single white femaling me? It all makes sense now. No, come on, no. Love's a leech in this relationship. We watched that movie together, made fun of Jennifer Jason Leigh together. A roommate stalking and imitating her own roommate? What a concept, right? I was being fed on a far more sinister way without knowing it. Don't be silly. Silly? I've never been this serious with you. Whenever she put on my makeup, whenever I used her as a mirror, she always hyped me up because she wanted to live vicariously through me. I mean, little things make sense in retrospect. The ways you kept modulating your speech after me. The weird ways our tastes were always compatible. Your art feeling so familiar. None of it would trigger alarms by itself, and yet he was as humanly embarrassed as possible. Julia, listen. Don't fucking touch me. I can barely think of anything more repulsive than being put on a pedestal like this. Like the other person is begging me to proceed into something worse, not outright subhuman. Don't be like this. Just don't. You know, this would probably be infinitely more palatable if you talk to me like a person here and not like, I don't know, your fucking mommy. You know what? Fuck you. I've been locked in this apartment by myself because of all the pandemic shit going on. It's fucking me up. I know you have it hard right now, so I didn't want to bother you. Yeah, I was counting on you to ask about how I'm feeling. Babe, how's your work-life balance? Are you feeling claustrophobic? Hey, is it just me or is our drug supply weirdly shrinking too fast? No. You're too much of a self-centered bitch. You rarely suck me dry and it's okay, but the moment I entertain the thought of taking something in return, I'm crossing a line? Oh no, I'm a member of an immortal elite secret society. It's so hard to cope. Dakota, whenever I gracefully decide to visit our apartment, let's just do whatever I enjoy until the pain stops. Fuck you. Fuck you. Sincerely, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. There's nothing you can do but take. And you should have learned by now that just taking won't make you happy, you big dumb bitch. Stop, just destined for better things than this. Just get the fuck out of here. You disgust me. Cutter breaks down crying. He grabs a jacket and purse and runs out of the apartment. I don't try to stop her. Stand there for a short while in silence and then lock the door. Did she take her keys? I don't know. I don't know if I care. A desire for someone else, not for myself. A way to open a different world, not get locked back into mine. Collapse onto the soft bed. I smell her perfume. I always liked it, but now it just makes me slightly nauseous. I'm trying to think of Dakota. Think of Kaiser. Think of Kadir. Think of Callahan. No matter what I think of, I sense doom. I feel like I just sealed my fate, whatever it may be. Everything fucking sucks. Back into the void. Back into the void. Back into the void. Well, that was a fucking rough night. Never did I think I would be fucking beating the shit out of Kaiser. That's gonna have some repercussions. For me, it always starts with an image. Image which might be vaguely eerie or interesting, but usually not an image that would provoke particularly strong feelings by itself. Usually it hides a mystery, that much is correct. But that mystery doesn't exist without a text, or more specifically, context. Context is everything. One way or another, you need to process what you're looking at. Maybe that context will be something you've heard or overheard. Maybe, although it's quite rare and pretty special, it'll be your very own creative, captivating, complete interpretation. A ghost of an idea. Is this a half-forgotten memory of something unspeakably beautiful I will never, ever see again? Just a scene from a movie? A fragment of a music video? An animation? Maybe this really is the last thing Callahan ever saw in his own life. Warm sunbeams caressing his skin and turning it to ash? A giant ball of fire engulfing his body in flame from 93 million miles away? Was he terrified? Was he grateful? There's no will, no suicide note, no nothing. Instead, you can only count on what the local historians will write, presumably letting their biases shape the narrative one way or another. What am I looking at here? A horrible, laughable hall of mirrors? A creep whom I never ever want to see again? A vampire much more despicable than myself? Or maybe someone who loved taking care of me and deserved to be cared for in return. Funny thing, whenever I was high as a kite, mentally lost in dimensions parallel to ours, she was my anchor. Our shared history and my feelings for her were an anchor. Matthew McConaughey, returning to his estranged daughter from the other side of the cosmos, beyond the event horizon, guided by nothing but love. Then whenever I got back to planet Earth for a week or two, I was haunted by a memory of that affection. I was the best possible version of myself toward her. But that haunting always refused to transfigure into something real, but gradually took its place were angry, disappointed thoughts. Among them, one thought that I was always trying to suppress. I need someone who know how to raise me up spiritually. All I have is a psychopath who's working her ass off to lift me up without understanding what I need. It's hurting us both. And these words pop up in my head hurt me, because they had to ring the truth to them. And also because I knew there must be another narrative, a better narrative. I was just too stupid to find it. Story of my life. Story of my unlife. I still have no idea what I think about this city. I had the best city in the world phrase. I had a phase. I had just a playground for wealthy fucktards phase. I'm in search of a better description. One day probably I will stumble upon like a piece of writing or prestigious TV show scene that will contain just that. And suddenly I'll look at this place with new eyes. Or maybe I won't. It's like the frustrations I had back at Lodestar. All these words constantly trailing behind reality. Trapping you in useless mindsteads instead of bringing light. Fuck all those flashy writers whose main concern is furthering their own brand. Douchebags who present you with limited, pathetic, depressing realities where they're kings. Fuck them all to hell. We need words how to paint a brighter future before our eyes. But what if that can't be done without reinterpreting the past first? What if we haven't even defined the ills and threats correctly? Once again, my thoughts return to the same visual that has been tormenting me for almost every waking moment of this past week. A senseless demise devoid of any context. A crime scene stripped of evidence. An image created by an unknown artist designed to leave you dumbfounded. The investigation's over. All the possible avenues explored. All the non-testimonies are in. No concrete evidence found. Play's almost complete. The actor is ready to leave the stage. It is what it is. I failed as a detective. Maybe through no fault of my own, but again, it is what it is. This case, this scene, this picture never needed an investigator. From what I understand, all the people in charge I ever wanted was a talented writer. What if a ghost of an idea? When I wake up, Dakota's still not here. I don't know how to feel about that, so I just don't. Kadir hasn't left any messages by the door. Still that mad, huh? I'll probably appeal to the court to take me off the case. And if half of the garbage Kaiser was spouting is correct, he shouldn't have much trouble convincing everyone. I look in the mirror and stare at my warped non-reflection. This place is upsetting. You need a change of scenery, girl. The depressing streets of a lockdown New York City will do. I think of God. Maybe that's why I have consciously picked the cathedral as my destination. I think of the silver cross adorning my chest, an empty signifier. Whenever someone asks me why I wear it, they hear a different story. I think of these silhouettes that I keep spotting from the corner of my eye. No, I don't even want to imagine what that means. I feel what it means and it makes me nauseous enough. I think of my clan, so closely tied to the Catholic Church. It's a loveless marriage, so to speak. Like, for example, the one between my parents. I think about the great irony of the Lasombra's truce with the Holy See. We're the ones who stay so close to the Lord's light, even though we're certain we'll never ever reach it. Some of us shadows have visions of comrades who departed this world recently, traveling through some abstract space, one that's disturbing and astonishing in equal measures. They almost reach whatever afterlife there is for our kind, but then they get caught and consumed by a dark, monstrous silhouette. The rumor is Our antediluvian wasn't stopped by his final death. He's still out there, behind the shadows, taking revenge for our patricide, being honest like Saturn devouring its children. Forebears of every kindred belonged to 13 vampire clans. These vicious bastards of the third generation created the world as we know it, and some features of our blood are said to have originated with them. Thanks for cutting me out of the internet, you Mesopotamian dickweed. That's what I'd say if I didn't have a premonition we might see each other again someday. Somehow. As the coda would say, it might not be factual, but it is an emotional truth. Drawing the Camarilla to panically scrambling for any safe house, it's like our elders are solely motivated by fear. The sins of our fathers are catching up with them. It's young kindred like me who are given responsibility to clean up the mess with a constant sense of doom looming over the horizon. We don't talk about salvation anymore. I'm just minimizing the impact of damnation. It's no way to live, but then again, maybe that's why they call it unlife. Shit, it's Benoit. Hello there, lost sheep. How have you know the shepherd was extraordinarily patient and waiting for you? What are you doing here while the night's so young? Out for blood? Well, you're in luck. This place offers both the body and the blood. The missionaries learned their methods from pickup artists. They would all be like this guy. Not in the mood, you sorry-ass bum. Step the fuck away from me or you're gonna be sorry. Oh my, something troubling you? So I can arrange a confession. If you're in a hurry, keep in mind, the path from inner turmoil begins with a friendly ear. I've got one right here. Kurwa Jabana Troja. You want me to fuck you up, don't you? Don't you? Julia, as you should know by now, I've always interpreted this kind of response preaching the divine as the devil stirring inside. Is that what it is, Julia? The liar and the father of lies got a hold on your soul? So give me a signal, even the smallest one. I'll do my best to spot it. Something swells up in my side, my chest. I recognize the feeling. The handbrake just broke and I'm definitely not on level ground. Fuck, here we go. Listen, I've had enough, all right? Enough. Enough of your sanctimonious attitude. Enough of your brazen lack of basic empathy. Enough of your dumb, ugly fucking mug. You're a fucking singularity of stupidity, tastelessness, and cringe. I met all sorts of horrible shitheads and asshats this week, and somehow none of them got under my skin the way you do, you motherfucker. Like a goddamn Jehovah's Witness going door to door, except you're always knocking on my fucking skull going, hey, do you know God exists? Have you heard that God exists? Like, hold on, hold it right there. When did I ever say that God exists? What? I said what makes you think I believe God exists. Well, now you're just fucking with me. No, I'm serious. Well, you sound serious at least. I'm actually speechless. I think there's been some sort of silly misunderstanding that desperately needs to be cleared up. I'm all ears. I sure hope so, Julia. I feel like you must have ignored half of what I've been saying for you to reach these conclusions. It's very well possible, actually. It usually takes 15 seconds of him talking to get me completely zoned out. So to avoid any further mix-ups, I will go back to the beginning and explain the core of my religious beliefs, okay? So, I love the Catholic imagery. I cherish the tradition and lore. I adore the practices, the intricacies of theology, the messages contained in the Bible. Of course I do. Does that mean I believe that one day I'll see the big dad in the sky? Forgive me, Lord, but I don't think so. Doesn't sound very likely, especially for a bloodthirsty creature of the night. So that's what this is about? Fun imagery? It's overly simplified, but yes, I suppose you could say that. The fuck are you, ain't Catholic? You're just a weirdo cosplayer. Says a non-practitioner who still wears a cross. Yeah, but I don't shove it down people's throats for fun in my spare time. I'm simply trying to share the joys of religion. Joys religion has brought to my own life with others. What joys? Oh, where to start? There are so many. Joy of having plainly understandable rules to follow. Joy of having a structure to your life. Joy of always knowing where to find people who share your values. Above all, it's the joys of being aristocracy. Surrounding oneself with exquisite, luxurious architecture, beautiful classical music, innate rituals formalizing our actions and relationships. The pursuit of virtues separating you from the masses, the hierarchies, the communities, all serving an idea greater than themselves. It's like monarchy or some Camarilla traditions, but not as gauche. But that's what it was? You saw pretty paintings and buildings and thought, hell yeah, I want in. And then you just decided what they mean to you? Oh, don't get me wrong, it's real faith that brought me into the fold. Eventually, I whittled down this religion to its core. It's what interests me. Unbelievable. Don't think for a second I was empathetic when I was trying to convert you. You're the embodiment of existential despair surrounding us. The one that people usually try to drown out with drugs, sex, work, Netflix, pick your poison. All of them temporary copes. Empty yourself. Kill your ego. Get a routine. Build a community. Run your morality in something tangible. Start perceiving yourself as a part of something greater. All of it good advice by itself, but codified in an appealing, otherworldly aesthetic. One that keeps the beast at bay. One you're almost fitting into the way you are. What's that or hate? Unbelievable. You're a goddamn lunatic. He looks to the sky. Father, forgive them. You know not what they do. Stop that. Your entire ideology is just aesthetic, you fucking loon. How exactly do I differ from anyone else nowadays in this regard? Stop arguing semantics. No, you stop. Just look at yourself. A privileged burnout who refuses to invest herself in anything. When you start committing to anything when, for once in your unlife, you're forced into a politically charged, dangerous task. Once it's over, you'll be back to being an aimless brat. Sorry to murder increases. Ever since World War II, I've been watching every person, every ideal I care about wither and disappear. That's the source of my pain. That's the reason I am what I am. The source of your pain. The thing that defines you. People have been mean to you. Fuck off. People in third world countries keep their heads high while suffering from every sort of horror, but you have a complete mental breakdown every time you remember you have mommy issues. Wow. Classy. But don't act like you have the high ground here, you obvious oblivious sadist. All I'm saying is everyone has a different framework, a different lens to view their suffering through. Yes, and there's one thing abandoning your humanity should have shown you is that kind frameworks are not enough. Petty vendettas, childish romances, pointless power struggles, a dumb gamble that's chasing a successful career, mommy and daddy issues, sure, why not? Pain and pleasure dictate everything. Everyone wants something bigger than this. They want to escape from this drudgery. They want psychedelia, but permanent. They want to stare at God's face even if he does not exist. And you could show them how. Accept the cross you're wearing into your heart, Julia. Accept it. Creepy fucker. Just accept it. All right, that'll be enough, Benoit. Mood changes in an instant. Sight of Father Leonard takes us both aback. Father, what are you doing here so early? Two are arguing so loudly I had to come out and check. Even if with all the panic on TV these days, simply walking outside feels like marching into a war zone. Yeah, I'm sorry. It should be. I was willing to turn a blind eye to your quirks, but because I believe you have your heart in the right place mostly. Very disappointing in the way you approach folks in need. Right now, Benoit Segal displaying all the confidence of a scolded teacher's favorite. I was just trying to guide her, set her on the right path. I know, Benoit, I know. That's the problem. The sacristy is open. Please head there right now. We need to have a long talk. Give me some coffee if you wish. But Benoit slowly sinks away, looking defeated, plated, debased. I burned a moment into my retinas, etching on my soul, and I'm hoping I'll never have to see him again. This is how I remember him. Father Leonard watches him closely until he disappears from sight and turns to me. I feel sorry for him. I'm hoping he might find some basic empathy through faith, but all I've done thus far is let him leave you at the end of your tether. He has some faith, he has. You okay with all the bullshit he's spouting? I don't exactly support it, but I don't reject it. It's like attrition and contrition, imperfect and perfect repentance, you know? One is focused on a relationship with God, the other is selfish and focused on personal gain. But both of them work. Yeah, but doesn't this strike you as completely missing the point? A bit, but purely secular takes on Christ's teachings are nothing new. Pascal's wager is a boring example, but have you by chance read Bulgakov's The Master and Margarita? Sure, back in Poland, we're a teen trying to look intellectual online, they'll repeat that joke about a talking cat who swears he never poured vodka for a lady because women deserve pure alcohol. That's one takeaway from that novel, I suppose. Whereas the moving depiction of Christ who's not a divine being, stripped of mythic qualities but open for transcendence. Jesus and Satan understood it as powerful forces battling within us. Would have to read it again, it's been too long. Sounds nice though. I stretch lazily and take out another smoke. Leonard watches me closely before speaking up again. Julia. 4 hours from now, there's going to be a meeting in the Elysium. Big finale of Celebrations of Power. Everyone will be there. They were counting on you to not show up. Good Sheriff plans to present the results of the investigation in your stead, but it's a simple, crude strategy. Might work. Begs to be countered with an outrageous tactic. Take it as you will. We're going. The game's about to end. Momentarily, I'm left dumbfounded. All I can muster is an eloquent, huh? Well, don't ask me, I'm just a messenger. Who relayed this message to you then? A good friend. A cautious friend. Wouldn't be able to tell you more than that even if you forced me to. Oh shit. Catherine. This is the moment that might decide the rest of my days. What would you do in my place, Father? I was faced with a dilemma that would shape the rest of my life. The world felt too big and scary and impossible to understand. So I simply escaped from that choice into the seminary. If that's your idea of good advice, I'm going to have to ask you to shove it. I expect nothing less. Don't you regret it? Regret what? You're kind of shady, but don't seem like a bad guy. Still, you have to accept people above you are responsible for some horrible things. Our superiors' acts count as our own sins, and on the face of it, probably half the people in this world are irredeemable. Clever, but not a real answer. And being a low-level grunt for assholes you find wholly objectionable is no way to live. I don't know. Is it? I finished the smoke in silence. I have to go. Don't know if and when we'll see each other again, but when that happens, it probably won't be the same old me. Of course, but before I leave the Skull Benoit, let me say one more thing. Yeah? These are difficult times. My parishioners keep calling me. The things people are going through, they might never admit, but if this keeps up, it'll cause horrifying invisible damage to this nation. A dreadful darkness is killing us all little by little. Like every powerful evil, it manifests itself little by little. And yet, sinful as it may be, I confess to being strangely excited. For a moment, we're seeing the suffocating normal disappear. This is the time to dream a new world. This is the time to dream a new world is possible. Walk these empty streets, Julia. Remember how the city feels right now. Bask in its shadows and uncertainties. After the apocalypse comes the great rebirth. Yamichi Noctis awaits your report. Your next report with great curiosity. Give him a nod and I sprint away. Now I know what I must do. Hey Moon, my lone constant companion. I moved here for good from, the old country. You were the only close friend who kept me company. Never felt in the right place back there. Never felt in the right place here. Especially now when I'm not quite alive, not quite dead. Not that Slavic, not that American. Maybe it's about time I finally carve out some space for myself. It's been a long road, hasn't it? Wish me luck. I catch him in front of the art hall because, of course, he had to be the first person I met there. No way. No. Oh, shit's about to go down, boys. I'm going to be the laughing stock of the entire city if I don't show up to the resolution of my own investigation. How about you demonstrate a modicum of courtesy? Courtesy? Girl, I should put you on trial. Can't guarantee I eventually won't. You mess with Kaiser, the eminent grease of the city. Beat him to a pulp like a random goon. He'll do everything he can to destroy you from now on. My bet is he'll succeed. Whatever will be, will be. And now, at the very least, I like to show the court that I'm not a baby fledgling who can't see a task she was given to the end. I'm making a huge mistake. How'd you even learn this meeting is happening in the first place? Maybe I'm not as trash an investigator as you thought I was. I never said, but you're showing it. It's not a fair assessment. I wanted to finish this whole mess myself for your own good. It would have been nice if you asked what I think next time. I'm actually pissed off he tried to pull this off without me, but I'm not letting it show. And I'm being able to guilt trip him into submission. His deep sigh of resignation proves my tactic was successful. Fine, but you will stay quiet the whole time. No tricks, ifs or buts. But of course, this way. We step into the maw of the gallery. The celebrations of power are almost over. Everyone's back to their usual respective styles again, looking weary of each other's company, trapped in their own little worlds. The art hall is nearly empty now, and Kadir is gently strong-arming the last remaining nobodies into leaving the premises. Eventually, only me and a select few New York Camarilla VIPs remain. Ah, Mr. Lewinsky, barely made it, huh? The asshole with a glued-on smile spots me first, and he's just as authentically enthused to see me as ever. He finally showed his face around here. I wasn't sure if you'd join us tonight. Kadir made this meeting sound like it was a one-man show. Preparations took me just a bit longer than I thought they would. I apologize. Are you by any chance playing the surprises with something? Well, if I was playing something, it wouldn't be a surprise if I told you now, wouldn't it? Can I have everyone's attention, please? We're about to begin. Everyone remaining in the building gathers around Kadir. Ah, exciting. Is everyone present? Ah, Catherine's back. There's Aisling. Tamira, present. And accounted for. My prince? Yes, before we begin, let me welcome an unusual guest to our fold. He gestures towards a corner from which emerges a silhouette that would never, ever appeared here under normal circumstances. Heiser. Torque! Ooh! Name's Torque. I'm the Baron of the Bronx. I was delegated here by my compatriots as an oversight authority. I'm here to observe the results of the investigation, nothing more, nothing less. Let me stress this one last time. This is a one-time occurrence meant to alleviate the tensions in the city, not a symbol of mutual recognition, not in the slightest. I peek at Addison's face to get a feel of how a hardline loyalist might grapple with this arrangement. His expression betrays no surprise, only a slight discomfort. Even if he's fine with it, the prince must have been extremely convincing about the necessity of a temporary truce, or about some Machiavellian tactic she's got ready up her sleeve. Who knows? Of course, we might have irreconcilable differences, but there are times they have to be temporarily put aside in order to quell the unrest and open paths for constructive, meaningful change. If anyone would like to voice their concerns, the time is now. Torque, Arturo, and Panhard exchange glances. Normally I consider it an innocent gesture, knowing what I know. I roll my eyes. A stick or a carrot, Torque? What made you break and sell your compatriots? How much do you really know? If not, Kadir, may I? He steps into the middle of the room and clears his throat theatrically. First, let me plainly state the conclusion I'm going to present is by no means my own achievement. It is a result of a tireless investigation conducted by a talented kindred I won't name here. Oh, fuck you, Kadir. You do little to no work, and you won't name her? Speak her name. A telling glance in Torque's direction serves as a succinct explanation for why he refuses to call them by their names. Of course, thank you, Julia Lewinsky, whose ceaseless groundwork over the past few nights served as the foundation for the findings that are about to be revealed here. Thank you, Julia. It's not the first time he sets out to oversell my achievements. As a sheriff, my role here is mostly representative. I spent the last few days overseeing the celebrations in Elysium, making sure no harm would befall anyone present. Luckily, none did. Looks like the prince's decision to move forward with the event was the correct one. For that, we should extend our thanks to Kadir. Let's not overlook our guests to a degree. I managed to convince my key allies that diplomatic action is the only way forward in this case. No matter how wrong-headed the enemy may be, we still need avenues to negotiate and communicate. I'm curious how Tamika will react to him looking like a corporate bastard designing the future order, dismissing potential for change that lies in unrest. No wonder she dumped him. Spare us the empty pleasantries and let Kadir move on. I don't have my own night for this. Right. I'll be concise. Douglas Boss Callahan's remains were found in his office by one of the schools first thing in the evening. First kindred to confirm it was another Anarch Baron, Torque, present here. A mystery book author would refer to circumstances of Callahan's death as a classic close room mystery. The metal door, locked from the inside, served as the sole way in. There was no murder weapon, no useful testimonies, and the evidence was, how do I put it, barely circumstantial at best. What was left for us was one hell of a puzzle, one where the answer couldn't even be approach using the tried and tested question, cui bono? We're presented with a poorly timed power upheaval, tense situation where a long-planned celebration was in danger. Suddenly all of us were faced with an uncertain future. Everyone benefited, yet nobody did. No one was especially fond of Callahan, but it's not like anyone seemed particularly keen on removing him from the equation, especially at this time. For a moment, we were sure this was the beginning of an offensive on the part of the Camarilla. We started wondering just how violent our retaliation should be. And as for us, we were momentarily convinced that the Anarchs were planning to blame us for their own internal power struggles. The tense situation resolved only thanks to skillful, swift diplomacy. Dare I say, yet another victory for our talented prince. Julia made sure to examine all the contacts Callahan might have had in his last days in both sects. Her efforts were tireless, only rarely misguided. He just had to spit out at least one biting remark, didn't he? Oh well, it's probably just covering his ass. As exhaustive as they might have been, they only served to muddle the possibilities, not explain them. Callahan had a lot of enemies, but they were the most infuriating kind of enemies one can have. Folks who barely even thought of him anymore. In other words, no one really had a particular interest in getting rid of him, because they could always simply work their way around him. Just before last Christmas, he even witnessed the first ever successful First Light raid against his extremely profitable blood trade supply lines. And one ace up his sleeve, a downright shady ability to perfectly maneuver around all SI activities, gone. Callahan's decline was apparent to all, and a domino effect made his empire slowly crumble. Until recently, he's done an admirable job of keeping up with the times and get away with murder, but suddenly, all of the prison spotlights were on. The recent stories you hear about him depict a depressed, downright manic recluse, lashing out at everyone, struggling and utterly failing to fit into the new reality he found himself in. A closed room, no evidence of struggle, a lack of strong, wide donuts, corpse being found in the very early evening hours. Conclusion simple. Helen's final death was self-inflicted. Suicide, to put it in simple terms. Silence has filled the room. So, wow. That's really the angle they'll be pushing, isn't it? Let's hear it, Sheriff. I'll explain. It was an independent detective who first set me onto this theory only last night. There's no suicide note of any kind, of course, but the message our recently departed has sent might not have been necessarily a verbal one. The peculiar thing was the position of the body. It was like an arrow pointing us to notice something. It appears the last thing Callahan saw in his own life was the portrait of one Lord Castlereagh, second Marquess of Londonderry, which is coincidentally where Callahan was born. For most, he was a reviled traitor, heartless suppressor of all dissent, the main threat against each rebellion the Irish have gone through, successful in all ways but those that mattered to his people. We call him a tragic figure, holding other selfish allies against a common threat, always fighting for painful and unpopular compromises, ruined by overwork, sickness, and poor public speaking skills. Not hard to see why Douglas Callahan would empathize. Polite snickers. Indeed, especially when you realize that sickness in his blood, his failures, the hatred from his own people, the growing paranoia led him to commit a dramatic suicide within his own four walls. I see. The assumption is, instead of stabbing himself to death with a knife or pin, he decided to let the sun embrace him in its warmth, Castlereagh's face burning into his eyes. Poetic final death. It's not a closure we might have wanted. Probably the best explanation of his motivation that we're going to get. Does everyone follow? Any silence fills the room. No one speaks up, except Prince Bernard. To me, it's all perfectly understandable, agreeable, and most importantly, it fits the man I've come to understand over the last 2 decades. Consistent murmurs resonate through the room. Agreed. And might I add, there were some irregularities in the handling of the crime scene, but the Anarch's leaders' findings suggested Callahan's resentful goons were to blame. Folks have been real happy to see him dead, is all I'm saying. They went overboard with the celebrations. They've all been interrogated, though. Yes, I've received all the resulting intel. It's done nothing to change my mind. Their depictions of Callahan's state of mind only serve to support the suicide theory. It's my suggestion that we all announce these findings to our respective communities first thing tomorrow night. Sounds reasonable. I think that concludes this meeting. Let the Keeper of the Elysium do the honors. No time wasted, huh? All right. Does anyone have anything to add? Any questions to ask? Take your time. Oh, Julia, please do. Please do. Silence. I look at everyone just sitting out in perfect agreement. Congrats, everyone. Congrats, us. We achieved a perfect victory. No loose ends, no rocking the boat, no nothing. Makes you want to puke. Many of them contributed to this final report. How strongly does Kadir believe the shit running from his mouth? He's always been a Camarilla loyalist, a fanatic even, but Miss Julia, any final statements? Oh, Catherine, you minx. This is it. Now or never. Anyone can blow this pathetic charade wide open, it's me. There's no coming back from this road. It has a cost. I spent all my life and unlife on social climbing, and the sunk cost fallacy is kicking in. Challenging them here might be my only way of ever making it out the pit on them. On the other hand, maybe this is my time to head into the unknown, kill my ego, at least temporarily, shut up the voices of the elders screaming in my head, betray my Lasombra instincts. Make all these ghosts go away and figure out something new, no matter how scary it may be. Do I dare? Maybe I don't. I feel like there's an incredible prize to be won waiting in front of me if I just dare to take out this revolver with a single bullet and have a half hidden on me. And invite everyone here for a crazy game of Russian roulette. Also get this foreboding gangster movie feeling, like this is a scene where the future mobster could have gotten out, but he didn't. In the end, did Callahan think all the splendor and the golden era was worth this pathetic end? It's like there are two selves battling for dominance inside of me. One of them has to die. The other gets to live. Honestly, it's a flip of the coin. I reflect on all the kindred I've met, lessons I've learned, choices I've made over the past few nights to make a decision. Then, feeling like I'm simply following the way I conducted this investigation to its logical conclusion, I respond. Actually, I do. Kadir's not going to like this. It's like the beast itself flashed in Kadir's eyes for a brief moment. No, you don't. But I do. Miss Lewinsky, don't make a scene. Believe me, every one of you will really, really, really regret it if they don't listen to what I have to say. Will we now? Oh, absolutely. I stand up and step right in front of Kadir. Don't get me wrong, Kadir has done a spectacular job of selling you a ready-made narrative to package and export to the outside world, tell to the sheriff and all that. But was this little show necessary? Did you all really need to hype each other to believe this fairy tale? What are you getting at, little girl? Easy for now, my prince. Insult me all you want. It's only gonna make it all the sweeter when this little girl kicks your ass. Getting at the fact that there's a different, more reasonable theory that explains everything to a T. That's great for you, sweetheart, but do I really need to stay here and listen to it? The door's right there, but on the off chance you get implicated in something tonight, would you want the chance to defend yourself? And what are the chances of me being implicated in anything tonight? I'm pretty sure a lot of kindred in this room are asking themselves the same question right now. In each case, my answer is the same. You won't find out unless you stay right where you are. She stays. All right, where was I? Let's assume that the cause of Boss Callahan's death really was suicide. Our man said, oh, fuck everything. Open the window shutters, let the break of dawn take care of all his problems. And let's assume that he really meant to send a message using a portrait of Lord Castlereagh. That was dramatic, but sure, let's go with it. But it is commonly understood that Castlereagh was pushed into taking his own life as a result of conspiracy against him. Needless to say, his biggest fan wouldn't miss that detail. According to his historians, the man's last words imply that some powerful people faced him with a choice, denunciation or death, which for an ambitious politician, it's not a choice at all. So if you're claiming that Callahan left us a hint, it's a troubling hint, don't you think? What are you? Enough, we're not dealing in conspiracy theories here. Of course you're not. I mean, a conspiracy theory backed by the elites is no longer a cult such. It's propaganda. Is there a point to this little show you're putting on, Mrs. Lewinsky, other than digging yourself a deeper and deeper metaphorical hole? Oh, Mr. Arturo, you're still trying to tell yourself it's me who's in trouble and not you? That's adorable. Listen, you. No, you listen. He freezes in shock, definitely not used to the resistance. I don't blame you for peddling propaganda. You're politicians, that's what you do. I'm just laughing at you for coming up with this shitty, poorly conceived propaganda. So, will someone stop her? Oh, God. Like DJ Khaled says, keep going. Mr. Addison Payne, you're the architect behind the local Camarilla's current speeches and your own political narrative. Be honest, does this shit show really meet your standards? We stare into each other's eyes unblinking, slowly filling each other out. Eventually, with barely an audible snigger, he whispers to his servant, how do I put this? I'm always open to a better pitch. That's all I wanted to hear. All I'm asking for now is a little patience. That I can spare. Oh, for goodness sakes, Addison, come on, man, you can't possibly. Silence, I said what I said, now let her talk. Thank you. I'm starting to have fun with this, or more like I'm feeling that weird rush reminding me of the first time I managed to ride a bike. The important thing is to keep up the momentum. Focus on pedaling hard, don't even think of falling. You thought you had it all figured out, didn't you? An improperly handled murder scene, disposal investigator forced to blindly stumble around, hopelessly chasing loose ends. The only problem is that tonight I realized I was using the wrong tools all along. Instead of a sleuth's magnifying glass, I only needed a journalist's pen. So I sat down tonight, wrote my first article in almost a year. 2 hours of ceaseless writing, creative juices flowing the entire time, everything miraculously falling into place. And frankly, I think it's my masterpiece. I get carried away and jump on one of the benches. You want to hear its contents? I know you're all dying to hear the contents, so let's get. Okay, let's hear the contents. Aisling Sturbridge, High Regent of the Chantry of Five Boroughs, violently splitting her student after he discovered her plans for horrifying experiments with blood magic. Her target, Baron Callahan, said student conveniently missing. And exclusive source too, Agathon, the Warlock's personal diary. Extra, read all about it. She's trying to hide that she's nervous, but she's practically shaking. I should be the one shaking. I'm piecing together what little solid or relatively solid intel I have glued together into something coherent, the educated assumptions and pure conjecture. But at least I'm fairly sure she recognizes me as a threat now. Just what I was hoping for. Next up, is it true that Torque, brave Anarch Baron, proud to be next de facto leader of the sect in NYC, might have been manipulating his entire faction to secure the position? The appeasement candidate convinced his key allies that the revolution is not an option at the moment, appearing as a reasonable alternative to his bloodthirsty rivals. His ace in the hole was a strangely efficient ability to establish diplomatic channels with the Camarilla, which he then used to gain a series of small concessions from the NYC court. Could it be that Prince Bernard, having just realized the longtime collaborator Baron Callahan was just an undesirable asset, found a more different, more 2020 candidate to be the leader of the Anarchs? Extra, read all about it. This one's not shaking, she's just angry. And this one just seems confused. And what about the fact that Torque, Helen Pinard, Thomas Arturo, Carter Vanderweyden, and Aisling Sturbridge were all summoned to Callahan's office right before his death? Could it be that the so-called boss employed some final desperate measures to stop his downward spiral into relevance, at which point a rush plan to bring him on his demise was executed? Could it be that Kaiser, legendary New York City info broker, striking deals left and right with both Camarilla and the Anarchs, wiretapped Callahan's office to eavesdrop on those negotiations? Extra, read all about it. You cut the atmosphere here with a knife and it's only getting worse. From them, at least, I feel better than I've felt in years. And the fact that nobody's protesting probably means I'm hitting the nail on the head. Could it be that for the entire 21st century, conflict between the New York City Camarilla and Anarchs was a sham? What if the Second Inquisition's operations in the city were consulted with the leaders of the two sects? How deep does the rot of corruption go? And what about Sophie Langley's disappearance? Attempts on the unlives of would-be members of a coterie she attempted to set up alongside her ward last year? Could all these things be connected? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Stay tuned, dear readers. Heavy silence befalls the room. Oh my God. If she dies, she goes out like a fucking G. Again, this is why I love Julia. She's going out like a G. When it becomes too overbearing, Kadir breaks it by hawking loudly. His poker face is indecipherable. And where, per tale, can one read all about it tomorrow? 10 different places, among them, of course, a report received by Clan Sombra's elders in Chicago. Constantly mixing truth with lies. I do know some facts. I did write something. But all in all, it's a confidence grift, plain and simple. Have you sent it out already? No, Father Leonard is not the channel I used to reach in Chicago, in case you were wondering. I took every possible precaution, the way you taught me. I know this hurts him, but I can't show a single weakness right now. Well, this is ridiculous. She's probably bluffing. No, she knows, Thomas. Aisling, how can you be certain? I just am. The diary probably just saved my ass. Thank you, Agathon, I guess. Even if I was bluffing, it's all about the optics. You nominate a special investigator, and then the moment she presents her findings, you do what? Subjugate her? Get rid of her? How do you get out of this? I get it. You gave me that role, that title, because you were counting on me to remain the same shitty, useless nobody I was ever since I started working for the court. But funny how that works, isn't it? A week ago, nobody would have gave a shit about what I had to say. Now, I'm grave threat into this entire Illuminati New World Order arrangement you got going on. I still maintain you can't possibly know and prove all the claims you listed. There's just no way. I know. I checked. First off, stop bullshitting. You don't know that for sure. Secondly, even if you're right, so what? I've got leverage now. Because of my journalistic past, you gave me a detective title. I wasn't worth a rat's ass in doing detective work, but ironically, gave me the opportunity to do the best reporting I've ever done. And it doesn't even matter if it contains more facts than your official narrative. You know why? Because the story I offer makes infinitely more sense, morally, emotionally, metaphysically, however you name it. It's far hotter commodity than the low-rent bullshit you peddle. People nowadays buy into barely coherent sap like 5G and QAnon. Once they get a hold of my perfectly logical story and see you don't really have anything to counter it, you'll be fucked. Hell, the very fact that none of you have denied any of my allegations yet speaks volumes, doesn't it? Prince is absolutely furious that she's not in charge, visibly scrambling to figure out some counteroffensive. Why would anybody listen to you? You made that story of yours sound completely unrespectable, like tabloid garbage. Tabloid would be fine. This means it would reach more folks. What? What do you want? Now we're talking. A Primogen position for Clan Lasombra and a number of privileges befitting the title. You can negotiate the details, but a nice apartment downtown Manhattan's a must. Dreaming big, aren't we? What could you even bring to the fold as Primogen? I turned away from her to speak to the manager. Mr. Payne? Yes. As you can see, we've all found ourselves in quite a mess here. Indeed, to say the least. If I find this a way out, will you form a professional relationship with me and back the decision to make me Primogen? The figure in the wheelchair lets out a sarcastic laugh, sounding like the final wheeze of a dying man. You really are swinging for the fences, aren't you, child? I'm not suicidal, most of the time at least. I wouldn't be doing this if I had my sights set sky high. I understand. So how do you suppose we solve this little predicament? Easy. You give the masses an even better story than the one I suggested. One that benefits nearly all the parties in the room. All right then. Thanks to your moxie, you've secured yourself my tentative support, child. Let's hear it. Thank you very much. Okay then. During my investigation, I recovered some interesting intel about a certain individual. Praise be to Kaiser's abandoned limousine. Said individual would definitely prefer his behind-the-scenes dealings to remain unknown. For the last 20 years, he's been an on-and-off mediator between the different parties in the city. He prides himself on diplomatic skills. Interestingly enough, though, one of his main motivations was selling intel about both the Camarilla and Anarchs to any party that might be interested. Usually that meant Kaiser. With a reasonable degree of certainty, he can be held responsible for a few failed Camarilla operations that weaken Held Panhard's position. He dreams of being a prince, you see. You can already see him awkwardly shifting his weight. Recently, he's obtained control over an IT company called Double Spiral, which he uses to influence NYC Kind in ways that further his agenda and weaken his political enemies. He also operates the most powerful law firm in the city. He uses both these tools so that he can manipulate mortals to slowly tie a noose around anarch leaders and court members who he wants gone. I'm talking, of course, about Carter Van der Weyden. In a split second, all eyes in the room are set on him. People, whatever she throws at me, I'm sure I can explain. I throw a file recovered from Kaiser's limo on the beach, at the bench. Are you sure? Because there's a hell of a lot to explain. Addison's servant picks up the file so that his master can browse through it. That's not enough. I'm sure Double Spiral will be happy to deliver us more. So all the things you said the other night were a steaming pot bullshit, Carter? Addison, we're friends. There's a good explanation for every single thing that's listed there. I saw it on my father's grave. And if there is, I doubt you can justify allowing a girl who's little more than a fledgling ripping your credibility to shreds in a matter of seconds. Proving yourself as something infinitely worse than a traitor, Carter. You're a weak traitor. Thomas, Helene, don't you even dare speak to me, you bastard. That was the last element of my strategy. Don't want to throw any curveballs in my way because from now on it's all pure improvisation. 2 minutes ago I was the #1 enemy of everyone in this room. Now I'm their unexpected ally, a common foe that some people in this room have wanted to nail since forever. All I'm saying is that we got ourselves a perfect scapegoat pinning everything on. Shady dealings with both sex, all the real conspiracies he was involved in, possibly perfect looks in history. The Schadenfreude accompanying his fall will be enough to keep some kindred in the city happy for years. He shoots me a demented look, one I assume is typically reserved for a future strangling victim. You can't do this to me. Why is that? You are incompetent. Wow. That's the best you can do? Seriously? Kadir. Yes, my prince. Seize him. No, I beg you, just no! You come with me without struggle or in torpor. As usual, it's 3 strikes with me, then you're gone. No. He talks a lot, but puts up minimal resistance. Lear drags him out of the room, and that's the last I ever see of him. For a good minute, everyone just stands there, confused. Then Addison begins to clap. Bravo, Miss Lewinsky. I haven't seen such an adventurous power play in years. Maybe your generation is not all lost after all. Does that mean I can count on your support? Of course. As far as I'm concerned, you're the kind of ruthless primogen the city needs, especially now when one seat will probably be made vacant. So what do you say, my prince? Benhar recoils a little when she hears me refer to her in such an official manner. Our relationship with Addison is a decades-long conflict, and by now, I know which hills I'm willing to die on. This is not one of them. Rejoice, my girl. You're going to get what you want, as well as deserve. You do have one important condition, though. Of course you do. Mr. Payne, as I'm sure you'll agree, being primogen is an important representative position. It demands nothing but a display of impeccable respect for the masquerade and the traditions. Of course. It is my concern that it wouldn't be proper for us to be represented by someone who openly violated the rules of kindred society. And Mal, thank you so much for 92 months of residency here in the Velvet Room. Thank you so much for the continued support. Welcome back. How you doing? I got your vote. Your 10 votes for Makoto, per usual. You have a headache. Hopefully you've taken something for it. I'm sorry that today sucked. Hopefully you can relax a little. But of course, that wouldn't do it all. They have to openly renounce their old ways at the very least. Indeed, I think in the case of Miss Lewinsky, who's lived with a mortal under her single roof for a long time, the best course of action would be to renounce her, give her up to our sheriff. That kind of gesture would prove the new primogen's dedication to the court beyond any reasonable doubt. Yes, definitely, I agree. Her ambition and pride are admirable, but it'd be prudent of us to demand a display of humility as well. Sadistic fucks. My thoughts exactly. Well then, your answer, miss. What's so funny, Miss Lewinsky? I see it in your eyes, Arturo, you naive fool. You think you're so goddamn clever? You think I would have gotten this far if I didn't think it all through? There's only one response. I agree. Do what you must. He's speechless. He thought he had me pinned, and I simply responded with a checkmate. Guess that solves our problem then. Let's head out for now. It's been an exhausting evening and dawn is nearing. Yes, let's just do that. He walks Payne out, looking unstrung and defeated. Soon after, Kadir was ordered to take care of Dakota. He asked me if I want to know what was done to her. My reply was honest. Not really interested, no. He said I got myself into a terrible game, rules of which defy comprehension. I replied that if I'm winning and climbing upward, I must be doing something right. Still, we don't talk too much these days beyond professional interactions. I have a much bigger world to think about now. One that fills me with happiness. Come to think of it, my current state reminds me of those few halcyon days right after my embrace. It might not last. At this point, I'm gonna ask myself, what does? It's always about the next bigger rush. I'm writing speeches and official communications for the NYC Camarilla these days, pumping out pain from time to time too. Honey, I've never felt more accomplished, more fulfilled as a journalist than I am now. Karen is visiting a few days congratulating me on the behalf of the entire Chicago-based clan. Apparently I've not only met her expectations, but exceeded them. She keeps bragging to everyone about how great her eye was in picking me. It's only these shadows that keep getting to me. I notice them everywhere these nights, and there are more and more of them surrounding me as time goes on. But it doesn't matter. I like to think they're being cast because my future looks so bright. That was so fucking good. That was way, way better than Connery's. Holy shit. I want more. I love Julia as a character. Holy shit, she is just so good. I want more of her. I want to see more of her in some form or fashion. I want to start reading books now. I really want to start reading books now, learning more about Vampire the Masquerade, especially with Julia. Holy shit, that was well written. That was good. Cottery's was okay. I hate the way it ended, and I hate how, all my decisions led to Sophie being fucked up. Which, okay, good. But that set up Shadows so good. And Julia as a character, just, I want more of her. I like it and I want you. I wonder if this continues. Like, I know they have more visual novels, and I'm wondering if it continues. I imagine it does, but with different people. But I want more Julia. She just didn't give a fuck. Like, that's the thing. Like, Sophie gave a fuck. Sophie kind of gave a fuck. Julia just didn't give a fuck. She really honestly did not give a fuck. And this, I actually want to do tabletop. Like, I'm entranced by the world now. Like, as it was nearing the end, as she was going through a personal crisis, if you would. Like, it was just so well written. And I love her character. And I just want to see more of her. I gotta see if there's anything else. So we don't even give a fuck about Kaiser. We don't get. Oh, so good. Again, this is like one of the shorter visual novels I've done. And it's just, for a world I know little to nothing about, like it grabbed me. Holy shit. Holy shit. I want more. I want more Vampire the Masquerade. Even if that means setting up a tabletop for it. I kind of want it more than D&D now, which is saying something. And I mean, with Bloodlines, with like what the new Bloodlines coming out, what, 2024? Bloodlines 2? $2024. Fall 2024. I've not played Bloodlines 1. I guess I need to play the original Bloodlines, huh? What's up, Estelle? How you doing? Dated but hella fun. I can take dated. Damn, 2004. Holy shit. Like in mini patches are what fixes it, like just like Oblivion. Oh, yeah, I might have to fucking do this. I might have to do this, man. After I get through all my other incentive shit, I probably will play Bloodlines. There's a lot of incentive shit I gotta get through, but I really want to play Bloodlines now. So it plays. So you're like, it plays like an Elder Scrolls game. Is what you're saying? Like vanilla is a no-go in most hardware these days. Really? Like it's not compatible with current hardware? Yeah, I'm already reading. If you play it, install the unofficial patch. Yeah, I even see a review. Great game for its time. This version, however, crashes on most modern machines and really should be remade to be an item that's actually sold. Damn, what's the problem with it then? There we go. What's the problem with it then? Oh boy. That was really good. That was so good. All right. So I think resolution of those small things, like what happens to the older games, small fixes were needed too. Been a while since you played the OG one. I don't think you can play the OG one. I don't think that's even possible. So now all we have left is tomorrow. Tomorrow is Halloween. So with that, of course, we do our usual clock tower. Because you don't fuck with tradition. But I did end up getting Stray Souls. So we'll do that. I wanted to add one more thing. I wanted to add one more game, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what game to add. I mean, I know of a few. I have a few ideas. So I was going to pose this to you. I got Vampire The Masquerade Redemption. Yeah, so I was going to pose to you what game you think we should add. If you had any ideas or if anyone had any ideas of what we should add, I am all ears. I wanted to add Alan Wake remastered, but it's 10 hours. I don't know, everybody's not gonna be up for like a morning, like night to morning Halloween stream. So that's probably out of the question. Yeah, like they said, it was a 10-hour game. Oh, more than 10 hours. Perfect. So yeah, that would be for Halloween, that would kind of be out of the question. You are alive. We are glad you are alive. How you doing, Tom? You're all right. It's cold. Really? Is it cold down there? Man, I'm probably gonna have to pack some sweatshirts. I'd probably pack some sweatshirts. $50? Jesus, what is it here? If it'll load. 76. It's 76 here. It won't be too bad. Oh, yeah, there was that. I mean, I've already done a quarry. Never done the mortuary assistant. Hey, 372, the weekend on there. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I heard about this one. There's one yeah, we could do Left 4 Dead. That's an option. That's definitely an option. There was one I heard about called Don't Scream. Nodding, you still want to do Outlast? You want to do Outlast Trials? We would just need people who have it. If somebody wants to get it, we can do it. I'm down to put it on. Yeah, I'm down to put some community stuff on. Yeah, I was talking about it, but like Alan Wake wouldn't be good for tomorrow because it's a long game. Like that's a weekend. Like I probably could have done that leading up. I just didn't think about it. There's this game called Don't Scream. That's an early access that I could possibly do. Show it off. Nope. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about that one, Ghost Rider. I don't know about that one. Miss Naughty and Miss, oh, I don't get scared. I don't get scared. You mean to tell me absolutely nothing scares you? Nothing. I really find that hard to believe. Maybe put up a dono goal for replacing broken parts playing this game. Dead Space remake? Nah, nah, not that nor Callisto Protocol. Oh, yeah, I've seen this one. The community game. I wouldn't really even call that Phasmo. That's just, you know, getting out alive. Phasmo, there's like a ghost. Like it's different. Like Phasmo's different. And I really wasn't feeling Phasmo. This kind of is more my speed. Because we have people. There are people. Wait, wasn't Deceit in it was Deceit 2. Deceit 2 is out.
If you are reading this, then I am sorry. You are a prisoner to a man who calls himself the Game Master, caught in an endless ritual as sacrifice to his prestigious benefactors. I am using the last of my mind to collate the knowledge I have gathered. May it bring you greater fortune than it offered me. Firstly, you must trust no one. Nothing around you is what it seems. Your companions are not themselves, and neither are you. This is his game. Amongst your party, two will be infected with evil, concealing the monster inside them. The innocent must reveal who the infected are and cooperate to eliminate them, or escape before the infected destroy them all. Hidden in plain sight, the infected work secretly to shatter altars that protect our reality from a dimension of evil beyond. The Game Master calls this place the In-Between. It is a realm of madness and misery, home to the benefactors he serves. When you believe you know who amongst your group is infected, you must catch and expose them. Once downed, the victim is held within a sacrificial circle. You must convince a majority to vote on them. Only then will they be eliminated. But be wary. Both innocent and infected can be banished this way. Once an altar is fractured, a countdown begins. An inevitable countdown towards the In-Between taking a temporary hold over our world. The infected are energized by the evil that dwells within this realm, revealing their true form, their terror form. Should one of you be caught, you will be offered as sacrifice, a fate far worse than death. The more altars the infected break, the longer the In-Between will last. The terrors will hunt you relentlessly. You must run. You must hide. You must survive. Should an innocent be caught and executed, however, the ritual will reset, pulling all survivors back to reality. Your key to freedom rests with the entity known as the Peddler, a native to the In-Between of worlds. A strange creature, but of honest intent. Lost souls of the damned sworn to wherever these rituals occur, like moths to a flame. The peddler seeks to release them, though they do nothing for free. In exchange for your assistance, the peddler will offer items, familiar and exotic alike, from their occult collection, as well as the promise of a key, the key to escape. The implant embedded in your hand will, amongst other things, grant you a second sight, capable of seeing beyond the veil of our world. Use this sight to locate and free souls of their bindings. They lurk and hide amongst the environment. Use your wits to flush them out. Should your group fail to eliminate the infected, your last chance for victory is via the escape doors, to which the peddler holds the key. But be warned, once the key is claimed, the benefactors will push back, making a final attempt to subvert reality by enraging the terrors for one final hunt. I can no longer recall how long I've been here, how many times I have played this accursed game, but I now know how to escape, how to die once and for all. Perhaps you will find a less final reprise. I bid you good luck and farewell.
I want to do this. I want to do this. Yeah, it's not that complicated at all, honestly. And it's only $9.89. What? Better Among Us? Uh, 4 to 9 players. Who's in? Who's in? Who's in? Oh, you have it, Ebony? For tomorrow. For Halloween. You've done Among Us, Ebony. Come on. Deceit 2. If people are down, I'll get the game. Boo! I don't want normal Among Us. I don't want basic bitch Among Us. Boo! This is better Among Us.